Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Carey Davis, he's playing hurt. Andrew Marsh, he's playing hurt. Jamie Rivers is on the road, and he's dealing with firewall issues in his hotel. So he was supposed to join us from 2 to 4. He's going to join us for a couple of segments in the first hour via the phone. But, yeah, Fast Lane limping into today's show a little bit. So you guys look good. How you feeling?
How do I sound?
Like you're not going to make 4 hours?
Man.
Oh, yeah. Been there, though.
Rough nights, not feeling well. Just, but, like Jordan in the playoffs, he showed up, didn't he?
He did.
He made a hell of an impact.
So
hopefully I can do the same. Yeah.
I hope Carey's not sick because of me.
203, Carey compares himself to Jordan.
Yep.
Got it. All right.
Always.
You are, though. That's the thing. So we're going to have a lot of fun today-ish. 203, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We will get into the Blues, couple of segments with Jamie, 2:15 and 2:30. We also have Joe Vitale. Jamie will join us from the rink as well a little bit later on in the show as the Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight right here on 101 ESPN and the Blues Radio Network. Pregame starting at 6 o'clock, so plenty of Blues to come. And we do want your mic drops. BK and Ferrario did a great job of eliciting some mic drops from you about Kyrou and whether or not you would trade him. We're going to take that same approach, although we're going to ask you why. Why do you want to trade Jordan Kyrou? And let's be kind of logical and practical about this, right? If you want to just trade him because you don't like his effort on a consistent basis, at least also toss in what you think the Blues should get in return for Kyrou. So if we're somewhat realistic about this, I think we can have some fun with the mic drops. But why do you want to trade Jordan Kyrou? That's going to be a topic of conversation throughout the show today. Again, leave us a mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. Shout out to the Snake Pit as well via the Air Alliance Team YouTube channel. You can always reach us there when it comes to watching us and providing some questions and stuff when it comes to the chat. Sonny Gray made his Cardinals debut in spring training today, and he had a bunch of twos. He went 2 innings, he walked 2 batters, he struck out 2, he also threw out a guy. So Sonny Gray, kind of an uneven performance. Who cares? It's spring training. He threw 6 different pitches today, which I find incredible. Now's the time to work on these pitches. If you're working on something, I don't care if it's Sonny Gray or somebody else. If you have been working on a pitch throughout the offseason, either something that you've had in your arsenal before that you want to maybe correct or change, or you're working on a new pitch, spring training for veterans is about ironing things out. If you're Dylan Carlson, Carey, if you're Victor Scott, it is about improving the role that you currently have or making the team.
Correct. You're
Sonny Gray. I don't care what the statistics are for him. I just find it to be interesting through 6 different pitches today in only 2 innings.
Well, I think it's going to be, when you're a this is crazy. When you're
doing great,
pitcher,
Carey. This is one segment out of a bunch.
A contract, obviously. He's going to be there for a while. He's solidified in his role. And so some of those younger guys, you have to work through it. You have to figure out, now is not the time to be trying things out when you're a younger guy, trying to solidify your role. But when you are Sonny Gray and know that the contract is solidified, you're straight, you're good to go, you can work on some different things and hopefully figure out, tweak some things. What works well for me in this situation? Is this the right time? Now, I didn't like how that felt coming out of my hand, so maybe he has 6 pitches now. Come, opening day, it's down to 4 or 5 good pitches, whatever the case may be. But as long as they are good, you're confident in them, and you're confident in putting them in the location that they need to be in, I think you're okay.
Maybe he only had 5 pitches, and then Wilson Contreras put down a sign that wasn't actually a pitch. He's trying to make his arsenal a little bit bigger.
Marsh, that's
I'm
not
just
a bad
trying
thought.
to think outside the box here. You never know.
Yeah, you're trying to go Burger King style on this.
Sure.
Outside the bun there. Wasn't that Burger King?
I don't know. I thought Burger King.
No, that's Taco Bell.
Yeah,
outside the bun.
outside the
bun.
Yeah.
That would make more sense because Burger King would have buns.
They do have buns.
Why would they direct you away from buns?
They say have it your way, Anthony.
Yeah, that's right.
The commercial with the tiny hands.
BK, have it your way.
There you go.
That's right. Okay. Taco Bell, Carey. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard that slogan though in a while.
That or
remember they had the little Chihuahua dog?
Yeah. I found that dog kind of annoying.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know.
You didn't like it?
Yeah, sometimes you just watch something and you're like, I don't know why, but that's annoying. Like when Russell Wilson talks, you're like, you're annoying.
Russell Wilson's a good guy.
Is he?
Ish. He tries to be. He does his best.
He certainly does. He tries. He tries hard. Maybe not on the football field now, but well, you know what? Who knows? Maybe that is his best effort at this point in his career, Carey. The Cardinals are down 3-1 to the Red Sox. Speaking of Contreras doubled to center in the second inning to score Arenado. And then Sogard homered for Boston. Then he hit a sacrifice fly in back-to-back innings to make it 3-1 Boston. A couple of statistics just to throw it out there. Brendan Donovan led off today. He had a hit in 3 at-bats before he was replaced. Paul Goldschmidt, 0 for Gopher. He's 0 for 2. Lucan Baker replaced him, and he had a hit. Lars Nootbaar, no hits on 2 ABs, but he did have a walk. Nolan Arenado had a hit and a run scored. Wilson Contreras, I mentioned, he had that one hit, which was a double. Jordan Walker, 0 for 2, 2 Ks for Jordan Walker. Mason Wynn, following the epic performance over the weekend, he was a one-man band. He had 1 strikeout and 2 ABs, and then Sagasi and Victor Scott were the other 2 starters, 0 for 4 combined. So not a great day offensively for your St. Louis Cardinals, but again, the conversation is centered on Sonny Gray. 2 hits allowed, 2 hits, 2 innings, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. Can he lead your rotation? I don't think there's any question he can. I wouldn't put him in an ace category. I save the aces for guys that are absolutely elite.
Anthony?
But Sonny Gray can lead this rotation.
Is he going to be your opening day starter?
Yes.
You may not be an ace in terms of the entire Major League Baseball, but he's the ace of this Cardinal staff.
He's the number 1 for this staff, absolutely.
The number 1 is the ace.
Again, I put aces in different categories.
What more do you want? He threw 6 pitches today. What more do you want from Sonny Gray? Huh? What more does he have to show you, Anthony Stalter?
I want Sonny Gray to be exactly who he is.
There you go.
I'm not going to put more on Sonny Gray just because he's your
Baseball?
Ace. Sonny Gray is a very good pitcher.
Yeah.
He's your number 1 guy. He's going to lead.
He's the ace of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Do you know how Deion Sanders said at one point, my gold jacket looks a little different than your gold jacket when he's talking about certain Hall of Famers?
Yeah.
That's what I think of when it comes to aces, you know?
Like Bob Gibson was an ace. Like he would go 9 innings and shove it down your throat probably twice in one day if he could.
I'm not going to exactly.
This is not then. We don't go 9 innings anymore. We don't throw complete games.
They can't even go 6.
What Marsh and I are saying is let's not be disrespectful to Gibby.
No. But it's a different era. So
Still,
the ace of the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's not the ace of the 2000s.
Chris Carpenter was an ace. You know, every 5 days, bullpen can just kick up their feet. They know.
Chris Carpenter going 9 innings in a do-or-die game against the best team in baseball in 2011.
Know what I mean?
But listen,
1-0 victory. That's ace material.
How many aces got 6 pitches? Not many, do you?
No, because most of them are like, 3 or 4 will do.
He's special. He's special. He's a guy.
He's a good pitcher. He's a really good pitcher.
He's a guy.
I'm glad we have him because if we didn't, we'd be in big trouble.
He's more like a jack, you know?
Not
Jack.
He's a jack. Yeah, I think that's fair. There's no disrespect to the jack.
No.
If you had a pair of jacks, you're good. You feel good going into this.
You're better.
Exactly. You don't have a pair of aces. You don't have a pair of aces. You don't have a pair of aces.
You got an ace jack.
You don't have. You don't have an ace.
Can you stay in? Ace jack offsuit.
Yeah, of course.
Then we're good.
But you don't have it. What I'm saying is when you were handed the 2 cards. You have a jack and a 9.
Yeah, the Cardinals ace is like ace low, you know?
Yeah.
It's not ace high.
Now, if they're suited, and we'll find out if they are, you'll be okay.
We're good to go.
But jack 9 is what you have right now. You don't have ace. You don't have ace jack.
Well, 618 wants you all to know he's glad you think that losing is funny.
When did we ever say that?
We're laughing
because we're laughing because they're down 3-1.
It's spring training.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry, I'm already hot right now.
You have to have the mindset, of course, that you're going to win every single game, even if it's spring training.
How many games do they play in spring? So 162-0 plus.
Correct.
What was it, 20 games?
It's the mindset, though, Carey. That's what the 618 is trying to say here. It's about a mindset.
You all are laughing.
Exactly.
We're talking about an ace, and the Cardinals are losing.
Well,
shame on you.
Is that what he said? Shame
That's
on
what
us?
I'm saying.
Oh,
shame
I
on
thought
you.
618 brought out the shame on you.
No, I said it.
Okay.
Shame.
Well, you don't have an ace. I stand by. But Sonny Gray can absolutely lead your staff this year. He's more than capable of that. And he's more than capable of leading you this current rotation. Now, you got to develop your next ace. That's the point. You don't have one. And I hope it's Tink Hence or Gordon Graceffo or McGreevy or one of the 900 guys I got from the trade deadline last year. You have to develop those guys. Sonny Gray?
Developed as an ace.
He's a solid number one right now. Jamie Rivers will join us next from Winnipeg. We'll talk to him about, we didn't have an opportunity to talk to him yesterday about Kessel being demoted, so we'll talk to him about that. Plus, Jordan Kyrou. People want him, so a lot of Blues fans want him traded. What are his thoughts on that? We'll get into that next with Jamie Rivers from the road next on 101 ESPN. let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line where we have Jamie Rivers live from Winnipeg right now. What's up, Jamie?
Oh, not much, boys. I'm just gazing out at like minus 30-degree weather. It's just great.
When John Kelly was on earlier today on the opening drive, he was talking about how cold it was in Winnipeg, and I couldn't fathom it being 0 or negative degrees when the weather's so nice here. But I guess tonight in Edmonton, so you got Winnipeg and Edmonton the next two nights, those two spots are going to be frigid, huh, Jamie?
Yeah, two of the coldest spots in the NHL. In fact, Edmonton's probably colder than Winnipeg, and from what I understand, we might be arriving to snow tonight. So you guys go ahead, kick back, and enjoy your 80-degree weather.
Yeah, you know what, Jamie? I'm not going to feel bad about it. You were in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and I feel good about where we're at right now. Yep.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jamie,
who's the new guy on the show? I hear a voice, but I don't recognize.
How you doing, Jamie? That's Carey Davis. I'm, we're over. Marsh and I are over here struggling, going through. We're having our Jordan playoff finals game, and we're just sucking it up and getting through it.
It's playing her, Jamie.
Doing our best.
I would expect no less, Carey Davis. So
It is.
I appreciate you being in there, my brother.
I'm fighting through it.
Jamie, you met. Well, I guess you didn't meet, but you had an interesting interaction. I guess you did meet him. Yeah. Interaction over the weekend.
Yeah, Anthony. I'm not gonna lie. It was interesting. My lovely girlfriend Ashley and I decided to go for dinner. We went to Paul Mano's, just an incredible evening. And then on the way home, we're like, hey, let's stop into BMO's in Connellville. Just have a drink. And then go home after that. So we sat in there, talked to a couple people that we knew. And then about 5 minutes before I'm leaving, the table next to us goes to get up. And as they're walking by, one of the gentlemen slides a business card, like quietly in front of me, and then just keeps the feet moving right out the door. And I'm like, okay, that was interesting. And so I pick up the card, and I read the front of it, and the front of it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So then I turn it over, and I find out that it's our good buddy, Cottleville Chris.
Nice.
Slid me his business card.
Well done.
And he said that he didn't want to intrude on the night. We would like to chat about maybe doing some advertising, whatever. And he writes, Cottleville Chris.
Nice.
Very nice.
So I kind of met the legend, but not really. I didn't get a clear look at him. We're going to get a police artist to sketch it up. I know what he looks like.
Well, that was
nonetheless interesting.
That was nice of him to allow you and Ashley to enjoy your night there. So good stuff. All right,
he was great about it.
Jamie, let's get down to brass tacks here. Jordan Kyrou. There's Blues.
Sonny Gray. I think he's an Anthony. I do. I mean, this guy's throwing every pitch known to mankind right now. I really like what he's doing.
He's got 12 pitches. Yep. Jordan Kyrou, Jamie.
Okay.
BK and Ferrario did some mic drops on, what you would do at the deadline. A lot of people saying I would trade Jordan Kyrou. We're asking people why they would do it. How much sense does it make, though, for the Blues to part with Jordan Kyrou, not only at the deadline, but just in general?
Yeah. So this is a tough part because a lot of people watch the game with their emotions. And I don't blame them. You're a passionate Blues fan, and you get an A-plus performance from Jordan Kyrou, and then you get a D or an F performance on other nights, depending on what's going on. And, that's difficult for a lot of fans to process. It's difficult when you look at, the amount of money that he makes. But when you sit back as a logical hockey person and business person, because hockey is a business, and the salary cap makes it completely a business because it's got to be dollar in, dollar out. You really can't take on more salary, and you also have to try and get the most bang for your buck. So when you look at Jordan Kyrou, he's been one of your top three scorers the last 3 seasons. And last year he had 37 goals. Those guys aren't just falling out of trees. They're not. Now, could his all-around game improve? Well, yeah, of course. And I know people say, he's not young anymore. Well, he kind of is. I think he's, 25 years old now. Like most players don't hit their prime as forwards till 27, 26, 27, maybe even 28 sometimes, depending on the player. So you're expecting, the full all-around game, and I don't blame you. You should. But if you are going to trade him, like, what are you trading him for? Are you trading him just because you're emotional and you're just like, I can't stand to watch the good performances and then the bad performances, and I just want to trade this guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you better get back a top 3 scorer in return. Because if you look at the Blues scoring right now throughout their lineup, it's Thomas, Booch, Kyrou. And it's been that way for three years straight now. So what are you doing? You have to replace that. Who is trading you that player for Jordan Kyrou right now? So if you wanted to go after any other player in the NHL who's a top 3 scorer on their team, they're probably not trading that player for Jordan Kyrou. Do you know what I'm saying? They're going to want to add Jordan Kyrou, which means they're going to give you less for the player because they probably believe that they're a contender.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, when I evaluate it overall, you still have a little bit of time to try and work with the player to continue to build his 200-foot game. If someone wows you with an extraordinary deal, then maybe you consider it for sure. But I don't think that deal's going to happen at the deadline. I think that deal happens somewhere in the off season, once the salary cap goes up, once teams figure out maybe new scenery for some of their players, or maybe they have some good draft picks and they want to get rid of some of their current players because they want to make room for younger guys. It's just a tough process right now. I just don't think you sit there and say, okay, accepting all bids on Jordan Kyrou right now. Those guys, those offensive guys like that aren't easy to find in the NHL.
Do you think the level of frustration is solely because of the amount of money that he's making? If he were making $4.5 million, would people be as frustrated with Jordan Kyrou as they are?
You know the answer to that, Carey. No. Nobody would care.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, well, look at this. This guy's, he's second in scoring or third in scoring, and he's making half the money of those other 2 guys.
Right.
We're getting value here. So no matter what, the contract is always tied to the player. But sometimes I think it gets blurry to where the production of the player, it exceeds what you think it should exceed. But then you look at the number and you're like, well, he's underperforming based on the 8.1. Well, I don't remember a scenario where Jordan Kyrou picked up the phone and said to Doug Armstrong, no, I don't think I'll take your contract because I only think I'm worth $6 million. Mm-hmm. He got offered a deal. It was a fantastic deal for the player, and I think it still has the potential of being a really good deal for the Blues if you look forward, if you look at the salary cap going up, if you look at the continued production of Jordan Kyrou, maybe a more well-rounded game in the next year or 2, there might be good value in that contract. I think it's always difficult when you're using the contract to grade the player, especially when a player that is polarizing like Kyrou, to where you get performances like he had against the Islanders the other night, and he looks like the best player on both teams, and then you get a performance on Saturday where he's benched for almost the entire third period. So I think for people, it's an emotional roller coaster for a lot of fans, and probably not just fans, probably for the coaching staff, probably for the front office when they watch some of this stuff too. But you got to try and find a way to regulate yourself and think straight and think about what the best deal is for the team moving forward in the next year or 2.
Jamie, do you think that people would find this situation to be a little bit different if the Blues had a little bit more depth on their team and they were winning a little bit more? Because I look at Vladimir Tarasenko. He signed an 8-year deal when he was here in St. Louis, $7.5 million. Now a little under of what Jordan Kyrou's making, but I look at Tarasenko and Kyrou as somewhat the same player. Like, it's not like Vladimir Tarasenko was playing a Ryan O'Reilly type game his whole entire career here in St. Louis.
Now, you're 100% right, Marshy. If you go back, the 7.5 that Vladdy was making during the time period that he made, I would argue that was more than the 8.1 as far as how much it impacted the team and their salary cap. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the total of offensive numbers, Vladimir Tarasenko only had one season, I believe, with more than 80 points. And Jordan Kyrou's had a couple of seasons now where he's been at that 75 point, 73 point, and yet people, a lot of Blues fans, applauded Vladdy, loved him, thought he was one of the best players on the planet, thought he was so dynamic. Well, you look at his numbers over his first 4 seasons in the NHL and compare them to Jordan Kyrou's, and Jordan Kyrou has more points. So and it's a great point by you, if we're going to applaud a certain player and then knock the other one just because he's making $8.1 million, let's not forget that Vladdy, for a long part of his tenure with the Blues, didn't really know where his defensive zone was either. Mm-hmm. And, and then there's obviously some other things that were going on behind the scenes that we found out, much later on. But it wasn't a great ride with Vladdy, but yet everybody seems to think that, he's one of the most dynamic scorers in Blues history and all this other stuff, yet his numbers to date don't compare to Kyrou's.
Jamie's going to hang on the line. We're going to ask him about Kessel. We'll ask him about tonight's game, too, as Joel Hofer is going to face his hometown team. So plenty more to come with Jamie Rivers next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues are back in action tonight, taking on the Winnipeg Jets. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk with Joe Vitale later today at 4:30, so stay tuned for that. But keep it right here because we have Jamie still on the line with us. He is in Winnipeg. We're going to discuss some Blues hockey coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. As Andrew Marsh just noted in the Sports Center update, we've got Jamie Rivers on for another segment live from Winnipeg. All right, Jamie, tonight you got the Winnipeg Jets against the Blues, and Joel Hofer is going to start against his hometown team. I know the young man is excited. He's got his parents that are going to be there tonight. Would you have done it this way with the goaltenders? You've got Joel Hofer starting tonight. I'm assuming that Binnington gets the start in Edmonton. If you were Bannister, would you have also lined it up this way with your goaltenders?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I feel like it's one half dozen of the other. I mean, you're back-to-back scenario, and you have two goaltenders that have played very well for you this season. You know, maybe, and I haven't talked to Coach Bannister about it yet, but I'm sure he was thinking about the last time they played the Oilers and how awesome Jordan Binnington was and how he almost single-handedly shut down that team to get that victory for the Blues. And you look at the Oilers, and they've got that powerful offensive team, and your team, you know, might be a little tired in the back-to-back. Who knows? The travel, I mean, there's all sorts of variables that come into it. So maybe Binnington, being the stronger of the two, is a better choice for Edmonton. And then the flip side of it is you got Joel Hofer, who he's from Winnipeg, you know, in this area, and he's never had a chance to play here in Winnipeg. Not that coaches always take a look at things like that for sentimental value. I do think it's just an added piece of the storyline. And let's not forget that Joel Hofer, he's played against the Winnipeg Jets one time before, had 33 saves. The Blues won that game by shutout, but Joel Hofer didn't get credit for the shutout because he left the ice for like a minute and a half to have his skate tended to. And Thomas Greiss had to come into the game that time, and Thomas Greiss faced one shot. So I guess we'll call it a shared shutout for those two guys. But that's the last time he played against them, and he played very well. And again, I go back to your goaltending has been the least of your concerns all season long. And when you got two guys that are going pretty good for you, you know, sometimes you just kind of flip a coin or whatever. You find whatever reason you have to play guys in certain games. I think Joel Hofer is going to be just fine tonight.
Jamie, Zach Bulldog got his first goal on his birthday. What did you make of that moment for him, and have you talked to him about it yet?
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit about it, and I mean, this kid's still on cloud nine to be in the NHL. And then the other day, it's his 21st birthday at that too, which is obviously that's a monumental birthday for U.S.-born kids, and he scores a goal. And, you know, the one thing he was super jacked and pumped about it, and it is so good to get that goal out of the way early, because sometimes as a player, especially an offensive guy, if you're 10, 15 games in, you haven't had a goal yet, you start to, you know, feel like your confidence is shaking a little bit. So I thought it was great that he scored that goal. But, yeah, he even admittedly talked to me this morning and just said, it was tough because I'm celebrating my first NHL goal, yet, you know, the day is not going according to plan from a team standpoint in a big game, and then a bad performance by everybody. He just said, you know, it was tough to feel super pumped up about it. But he's like, now that I've had a chance to get away from that game in Detroit, man, and have a look at the video of the goal and whatnot, he's super proud of what he was able to accomplish.
Jamie Rivers joining us live from Winnipeg. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie, got Justin Fall coming off long-term IR, playing tonight. You've got Matthew Kessel being demoted, and I know it's not necessarily fair for him to be that term demoted. He played well, but that's also the point. Were you surprised that Kessel was the one that is going to the AHL, or is this just kind of a roster situation that they have to manage?
Well, from a strict hockey standpoint, huge surprise to see him be sent down, because obviously he played top four defenseman for you. From the moment you recalled him, he's had some of the toughest matchups in the NHL, night in and night out, and he's played very, very well for you. So was there a little dip in his play recently when it comes to puck movement and maybe decisions slowing down a little bit? Well, yeah, maybe. But the young man probably a little burnt out from being thrown into the fire the way he was. So when you look at it from a hockey standpoint, I think it's surprising. But when you look at it from a business standpoint, and again, I use that word, business, it's because Matthew Kessel does not require waivers to go back to the minors. He's exempt from that. And every other player on your roster right now would have to clear waivers. And I'm sure some people sitting there go, well, you have some guys who barely played. Like, what are the odds of them getting picked up on waivers and this and that and the other? But right now, before the trade deadline, the waiver wire can be tricky, because when you go to place a guy on waivers, let's just say for argument's sake, or discussion's sake rather, you're going to waive Alexandrov or Tucker. Right now, this close to the deadline, somebody who's looking to make a trade might say, Tyler Tucker on waivers, I can get him for nothing. Now that allows me to throw player X, Y, or Z into a trade for me come trade deadline time, because now I know I've got a defenseman that can play in the NHL, and we get him for nothing. So then the Blues would lose that player and get no compensation. But I think Doug Armstrong is playing savvy right now. I think that Matthew Kessel going down to play in the American Hockey League, I don't feel like that's going to affect him terribly. I think he's going to go down there and play the way he should. He's going to give it everything he's got. And I think he's going to be back in the NHL soon. But I think it's probably the wisest decision right now, at least up until the trade deadline, that you keep all your waivers guys, on the roster and see what unfolds on trade deadline day, and go from there. And, this is obviously knock on wood. You're hoping that there are no injuries either in the meantime.
So, Jamie, I had made the point to Carey yesterday that the Blues, and I know they don't want to be this way, okay? I'm not saying that this is by design. But after watching the Detroit game and just consuming all the Blues games this year, they to me, are a team that is just overly reliant on their goaltending. When Jordan Binnington made those miraculous saves against the Islanders in that 4-0 shutout, all of a sudden the team got that, pep in their step, even though, as you broke down, they didn't necessarily play great. And then in Detroit, when he didn't make miraculous saves, and it wasn't on Binnington, but the defense faltered, all of a sudden everybody gets the Gumby shoulders. Is it fair to say that this Blues team right now is overly reliant on Binnington and even Hofer?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a couple of other components that go with it, but certainly the number one thing that they're reliant upon is the great goaltending. And Coach Drew Bannister has said that from the moment he took over here. He just said, look, the goaltending has been fantastic for this team. And on a lot of nights, it carries the team. It allows the team to kind of work through some things in game to get to where they need to be, because you've got the good goaltending. Part two of this, though, Anthony, is I'll say you rely too much upon your top three players, too. Like Robert Thomas, he's been your best player is from a skater standpoint. I'm not going to compare him to Binnington right now, or who's more valuable. I'm just going to say he's been your best forward/skater all season long. And, if Robert Thomas, Pavel Buchnevich, and Jordan Kyrou aren't going in a game, those games are usually a lot more difficult for the Blues, and a lot of times end up in losses for the club. And this is why you're talking about trying to get that secondary scoring. This is why Zach Bolduc is up here right now getting an opportunity, because he has the potential to add another layer of scoring to this group. This is why Zach Bolduc is playing with Jake Neighbors and Braden Shen tonight. Let's find out if he can bolster that line a little bit. And in fairness to Neighbors and Shen, offensively, those guys have been producing, but not at the clip of your top three guys. And when you look at the top scorers for this team right now, and you go down the line, you have Thomas at 65 points, Booch at 46, Kyrou at 45. Then from 45, it drops to 31 points. That's your next guy. So that's 14 points between those two players. And that's from your top line to your second line, because Schenn is in your next score at 31, and then you've got Krug at 29 and Neighbors at 26. So to your point, I think, yes, the goaltending, you're relying upon that probably too much. I think you're relying upon your top three forwards too much.
Sure.
You need more scoring.
All right, Jamie, good stuff. We'll talk to you a little bit later on when you get to the rink.
Yeah, I'm going to get down there. I'm going to get to the bowels of the arena. I'm going to go digging around and find some scoops for you guys.
Yeah, excellent. Nice. Yeah, you make sure that you do, all right, and then report back.
Yeah, you got it, sir.
All right. See ya. That's Jamie Rivers here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. We have What's Trending next.
what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
So I've just been notified that a lot of people are fighting within the snake pit here.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
Not good. Now, if you continue to fight, we'll just have to cancel the show. All right?
Keep fighting.
Hey. Now, Carey's feeling a little under the weather, and so is Marsh, so I don't know if they'll necessarily hate that. But, look, no fighting in the snake pit. Okay? Let's not get nasty unless it's on this show.
Oh.
Anyways, what's trending, Marsh?
Yeah, so Derek Gould reposted Susan Slusser. I'm told, and this is what the tweet says, I'm told Brandon Crawford's deal is worth $2 million. And then it says, good luck to Brandon Crawford in St. Louis. But basically what I took out of that was that it's worth $2 million.
$2 million. Okay.
There you go. 1 year?
Gotta be.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, we talked about this a lot yesterday. I don't see him lasting beyond when Tommy Edman is ready to go.
Until he's your everyday starting
Shortstop. I guess
Second
you could.
Baseman.
If Tommy Edman isn't ready to go and Alec Burleson's there, and then Tommy Edman comes off the IL, you could send Burleson down to Memphis and keep Crawford if you want. If you want to have,
He's going to be starting.
two guys that are limited.
Why would you?
Why would he be starting?
Why would
Mason Windsor's starting shortstop.
You're going to have him playing second base then.
Brendan Donovan is my starting second baseman. And if not him, it's going to be Nolan Gorman.
Is he?
Yeah. No, not Izzy. Gorman. Izzy is not going to play second base. No. I see what you're doing, Carey. I'm not.
it?
No, I don't like it.
I'm just putting it out there. It's possible.
Put it out there, man. Go
$2
for
million, $2 million reasons to stay on the roster.
Hey, you know what? Taylor Motter can find his way on the ball field for a full year.
Would you rather have the Mott sauce or Brandon Crawford?
Brandon Crawford.
All right. End of discussion.
Which you're bringing it to my point. He's going to be on the roster the entire year.
Well, that's what I'm saying too.
I think we're saying the same thing.
Okay. Honestly,
he's going to be on the roster.
I don't see anything bad about having him on the team.
I don't either.
Like,
he's a backup. It's a depth move. And the reason why you don't have a young guy in that role is because you want him to develop in Memphis.
Well, you already have a young guy that's about to start for you.
Well, but I'm saying
need two young guys.
What I'm saying, like a bench, like a bench spot. Yeah, like why not Sagasi or somebody? And I don't know if anybody's asked that, but the reason why you wouldn't have Sagasi or one of these other young guys is you need them to get ABs.
And then when they're batting 160, you're like, well, why is this guy on the team?
Yeah, and then when you trade him to the Rays, he's an all-star. Then you complain. And the cycle continues.
Differently over there.
Yeah, they do.
Well, a lot of people think that, and not everybody, but a lot of people think that the Cardinals should still go out and get Trevor Bauer. Now, since I was sick yesterday, I had a lot of time to do absolutely nothing, right? During that time, I came across Trevor Bauer's YouTube page where he posted a 10-minute video of him going up against a guy named Marty Mush. Marty Mush is a Barstool sports blogger, and Trevor Bauer was throwing live BP to him, a.k.a. he was giving his best, and Marty Mush, who would be like a guy like me, standing in the batter's box and trying to...
tagging him?
Marty Mush got 2 base hits off of Trevor Bauer in 10 at-bats. And was fouling a lot of pitches off. Trevor Bauer was also hanging off speed pitches.
He's got the full breakdown. Marsh did the whole scouting report.
I watched the whole video, and Marty Mush actually was taking a lot of pitches too. He had a good eye. When you see this guy,
did Marty Mush play baseball?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
I mean, maybe maybe CYC league or something, but I don't know if the Cardinals should sign this guy. Like, well, a blogger got 2 base hits off of him.
Not off that scouting report.
No.
I think that's a good point, Marsh.
We do need to know more about the blogger. I mean, if he played college baseball,
still,
no, it matters.
I mean, if you're Bauer,
it matters though. If I go up there and I haven't played baseball since the 8th grade and I'm then yeah, that's a problem. If I played in college or
this is Marty Mush.
Well, I don't like the jersey, but I don't think Marty Mush played anything.
But there you go.
Just from the looks
So
of
can
it.
we move on from Bauer then?
Yeah.
Is what we're asking. Following Marsh's scouting report, can we now move on?
They
I think he
said
did.
Marty played D1 baseball. See?
Okay,
All right, well,
he signed a pro baseball contract with New Jersey Jackals.
Well, then why don't you sign him instead of Bauer?
He's probably a second baseman from the looks of it. You've got like 13 of those. You don't need another one.
A whole roster of second basemen.
Yeah, more than what position did he play, Marsh?
I'm starting to read this real quick.
Marty, what is his name? What?
Marty Mush.
Mush.
Let's just not sign either.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't,
let's just move on.
I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't think the Cardinals. First of all, we have no idea if they want it. Well, actually, Bauer did say he'd love to pitch here.
There you go. So
He
why
said
is he
that
not
about
here?
other places though too.
But he
So
specifically
he's being
said it about
fake
here.
then. No, he's being fake.
No.
He said, I'd love to pitch there. He'd love to pitch anywhere in the majors.
I can't pronounce this name, but in the snake pick, John S. said Bauer's just pitching the contact. He will fit right in.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. So we led off the show today talking about Sonny Gray and how he's more than capable of leading this rotation. And
Because he's an ace.
And I said he's not an ace, and I apparently offended everybody in the world.
Not me, Anthony.
Not you,
I'm
Marsh.
on your side.
Not you. But Mike did. He texted in to the Air Comfort Service stocks line at 314-399-9646. And was it a mic drop from Mike? Oh, okay. So we're going to play that mic drop from Mike. He asked a very reasonable question. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, you know how much I love the NBA, and with FanDuel, you can get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Just $5, not a lot. Easy. That's $150, $150 if your first bet wins.
There you go.
Sounds pretty
That's
simple.
it. $150. It's pretty good exchange for only $5.
Yes.
So again, but you do have to be a new customer, and you do have to sign up to FanDuel at FanDuel.com/fast in order to shoot your shot. But then from there, you can go and play the quick bets or the live same game parlays. They've got exclusive prop plays too at FanDuel. They've got all the action, and when it comes to the NBA, things are really starting to heat up. Yesterday, I think we gave you 2 winning picks because I said Brooklyn -2, and then I said Miami plus the 7.5. They both hit. In fact, they won out. Miami won outright, Carey. So we're just handing out winners here in the Fast Lane. At least
paying attention.
At least yesterday. FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Anthony, who is an ace out of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball? Name the aces as you define it. Myself, I only see about 6. If you reach a little bit, you can say 7 or 8. But you tell me who's an ace. You just say everybody isn't an ace when they play for us.
So that was Mike. I appreciate it. Now, you had some stank on it, but
A little bit.
I do appreciate the question, Anthony, who is an ace? You got to go back here. Look, I didn't say that there should be 32 aces. I didn't say there should be 30 MLB aces. I didn't say there should be 25 aces. What I said was I reserve ace for it to be a special category. Now, Mike might be, and I don't want to say that because he didn't actually say this, but the counter that I've heard with Sonny Gray, and if you're just joining us, I'd start off the show saying Sonny Gray is more than capable of leading this rotation. He is a number one for you. He is your number one. But I'm not going to put him in an ace category. And I think I offend people by saying that because Sonny Gray finished second in the Cy Young Awards last year, the Cy Young voting. So why can't he be an ace? He finished second in the Cy Young. That's like saying Tyler O'Neill's an MVP because at one point he finished, 10th in MVP voting. One time. This is not a knock against Sonny Gray. If you make it out to be, that's on you, not on me. So going back to Mike's question about who's an ace. Remember, there's no number on this. So Mike's saying, 5 or 6. Okay, great. So you have 5 or 6 aces. Do you put Sonny Gray into an ace category then? If you only think there's 5 or 6 pitchers that are ace caliber? But he asked me what my definition is. My definition, and it's all there's a bit of a moving target here, right? Your qualifications for an ace might be different from mine. There's no rule book here. But my definition of an ace is somebody that's going to throw around 200 innings for you. That is going to, every 5 days, hypothetically give the bullpen a day off. Mm-hmm. Somebody that starts streaks or ends losing skids. That is an ace. And if you say, he pitches for us, so that's an indication that you think that I beat up the Cardinals so much. I'm not going to reward mediocrity because you root for the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. If they do great, I'm all for it. If not, I'm not going to sit here, spit in your face and tell you it's raining. That was not a good year last year. Right. But again, going back to the aces, Garrett Cole is a bona fide ace. Sonny Gray, second in the AL Cy Young voting last year, correct? Mm-hmm. Garrett Cole won the Cy Young last year. He finished 9th the year before, 2nd the year before that, 4th the year before that, 2nd the year before that, 5th the year before that. Garrett Cole consistently is in the Cy Young voting. Innings pitched for Garrett Cole, 209 last year, 200 the year before. He had 181, which is a career low for him. Based on the innings, or based on 2017, since 2017. Otherwise, 203, 200, 212. That is an ace. Somebody that is going to take the ball and is likely going to give you 7 or 8. Now, I think what gets screwed up here is, well, who's an ace? Because nobody's pitching deep into games now. Right. The current baseball format, MLB format, 5 and dive, right? Specialty. This is my point. You're playing into it. I don't think there are 30 MLB aces. Garrett Cole's an ace. Kevin Gausman is an ace. Corbin Burns is an ace. Spencer Strider is a young ace. Zach Wheeler is an ace. I can't put him in this category yet, but I could see Yamamoto being an ace for the Dodgers. Again, we'll push him aside. Shohei Ohtani, when healthy, is an ace. I think Zach Gallen is developing into an ace. Is he there yet? Probably not. Sandy Alcantara, when healthy, is an ace. Logan Webb is an ace. And that might be somebody that you could push back on, right? How is Logan Webb an ace but not Sonny Gray? Let me get to Logan Webb here for a second, then circle back to Sonny Gray. Logan Webb a year ago, 216 innings pitched. 216 with a 3.25 ERA. Finished second in the Cy Young voting. The year prior, and he hasn't been in the league as long as Sonny Gray, but the year prior, 192 innings, 2.9 ERA, finished 11th in the Cy Young voting. Logan Webb's an ace. Circle back to Sonny Gray. Do you know Sonny Gray's high for innings pitched?
It was this past year, wasn't it?
Nope.
Was it 180?
I'll say 194.
You have to go back to 2014 when he was a member of the Oakland A's. He had 219 innings. He had 208 the year prior. That was in 2014 and 2015. He has not come close since. Sonny Gray over the last couple of years, 184, 119, 135. Let's skip the COVID year, 175, 130. Sonny Gray, you're missing it. Sonny Gray is a very solid pitcher. I'm glad the Cardinals have him. If they didn't sign him, my God.
Yeah, we'd be in trouble.
Be in big trouble.
You hear me say Sonny Gray's not an ace, and you take it as a knock. I'm not knocking him. I'm reserving ace in its own special category. Mm-hmm. So I hope I gave you enough. Again, maybe you push back on some of these names. That's fine. But you know when you have an ace, and you know when you have he's our number one. That's just my opinion. And Mike, I'm more than willing to open up the conversation again with you. Again, it was a very good question, wrapped in snark. But if you want to battle me on this, that's fine. Let's open up the conversation. That's what this is all about.
He can be your number one, maybe not an ace in your opinion, but still have a huge impact on this Cardinals team.
Certainly.
And should have a huge impact on this team. Are you comparing it to saying, come playoff time, if the opposing team has an ace and they are going up against Sonny Gray, you have more faith in that ace in comparison to Sonny Gray?
Let's do this. The Cardinals face the Braves in round one. Mm-hmm. Spencer Strider's on one side. Mm-hmm. Sonny Gray's on the other. Who would you like to start that game?
Spencer Strider.
Okay. They open up against the Phillies. And maybe it's Aaron Nola, but maybe it's Zach Wheeler. Would you rather have Zach Wheeler starting that game for you, game one of a series, or Sonny Gray?
Yeah, probably the other team.
Okay. All right.
Zach Gallen.
Shohei Ohtani when he's healthy, or Sonny Gray?
Shohei.
We don't know.
That's not fair. Come on.
We don't know. What do you mean it's not fair?
This is the best player in the world.
This is the conversation. This is the conversation, right? Is he an ace? Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback. He can win games for you. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
I get
my
Anthony.
point. I get it. Can you win games with Kirk Cousins? Absolutely.
Sure
Am I going to put him in the same damn category as Patrick Mahomes? You're drunk. That's all I'm saying.
He was in the same show as him.
They were on the same show.
It's got to count for something.
So is Marcus Mariota.
Damn.
Sorry.
We got a text from the 314. I just tuned in. Sorry if Sonny Gray finishes top 3 Cy Young. Would he be an ace? That's Arenado finishing third at MVP and not being elite because he never won.
That was just one example of it.
Well, Sonny Gray, he's only been in the Cy Young conversation one time.
Twice over since 2019. He finished 7th. That was also his other. He's been in the conversation 3 times. He was an All-Star all 3 times. That was 2015 with the A's, 2019 with the Reds, and then 2023. Again, I can't stress this enough. I don't want this I don't want this conversation to turn into Anthony doesn't like Sonny Gray. If that's what you're hearing right now, you're wrong. And then every time Sonny Gray pitches well, it's like, you didn't want this guy. Nothing could be further from the truth. But let's really narrow what we're talking about here. Mike is right. There's only 7 or 8 aces in Major League Baseball. You need to develop your next ace. Would you put Sonny Gray in the same category as Adam Wainwright or Chris Carpenter? I mean, Cardinals fans know better than anybody what an ace looks like.
Do you think Framber Valdez is an ace?
I do. Okay. And people will disagree with that. But let me pull up Framber Valdez's numbers to you, okay? By the way, Justin Verlander, on his in his twilight here, he would still be considered an ace.
You know who Justin Verlander is? He's like the T-Rex, right? And all these new Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies, they're all bringing in these new, like, Indominus Rex and all these other, like, made-up dinosaurs. Some people think dinosaurs are made up to begin with, but they bring in all these dinosaurs, right? But at the end of the day, it's the T-Rex that comes in and either saves the day or eats a bunch of people.
Sure.
Depends on how you look at it. But that's Justin Verlander. He is an ace. You know, he's old, but he's the T-Rex of Major League Baseball's aces.
Marsh, I don't think you had a better analogy in all your life. I think you're absolutely
good,
right. I think that was really good. Yes. Framber Valdez, 29 years old, 198 innings last year, finished 9th in Cy Young. 2 years ago, 201.1 innings of work. He finished 5th in the Cy Young voting. All-star both years.
So let me ask you. So Sonny Gray has been on. This is his 4th team or 5th team?
2.82 ERA, 3.45 ERA. By the way, go ahead. Sorry.
This is his 4th team or 5th team?
He pitched for the A's, the Yankees, the Reds, the Twins, and the Cardinals. 5th team.
Or 5th team. Does that have anything to do with it as well? I mean, because when
Not
you look
for
at some
me.
of the other guys, like even Justin Verlander, I think he's been on 4 teams, but he spent so many years. When you're an ace, you don't normally jump around and bounce around. You are. It's like you said, a starting quarter. I mean, Kirk Cousins is a prime example. He's been on a couple of teams, but Patrick Mahomes won't be.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert won't be. No offense, Marsh.
To me, I would say no, only because like Garrett Cole's on his 3rd team.
Yeah, but this is his 5th team.
Yeah, but he played for the Pirates, and they're always going
don't
to
really
get rid of
count.
their players.
Yeah.
They don't count.
You know, count those.
But he was really good with the Pirates, though.
But
He was.
He was solid.
Sonny Gray's number 1.
Not good enough.
No.
In 2013, though, but
No, he was not. Michael Walker should have been your next ace.
Yeah.
But the injuries happen. All right, we all good?
I feel really good about this exercise.
Okay, all right.
I feel good. Now, Anthony, one last thing. Would you
Yeah.
consider Kyle Bradish to be an ace?
No.
Well, he finished 4th in the AL Cy Young voting last year.
You're cherry picking the arguments. You're cherry picking me. The only reason why I brought up Cy Young is because that's all anybody has when they combat me about Sonny Gray. I finished 2nd in the Cy Young voting last year, Anthony. That's not an ace to you? Well, no,
you're
there's a lot more
saying
categories.
it has to be more consistency.
Yes.
Multiple years of
Absolutely.
winning the Cy Young, top 5. Not one every 7 or 8 years.
No.
Do you need more than 10 wins?
No, I don't care about the wins.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I care about wins, but wins are a team stat.
Right. Like Jacob deGrom could go 1-15 and win the Cy Young
Jacob deGrom.
If he's
Jacob
healthy,
deGrom
of
was an
course.
ace. You know?
when he's healthy.
When he's healthy, and that's been about 4 years now. So he was an ace 4 years ago. You knew every time, if you saw Jacob deGrom pitch, like the Mets are coming to town.
It's been a while since I have. But.
It's about 4 years now. But when Jacob deGrom was coming to town, or the Mets were coming to town, you hope that you saw Jacob deGrom. Last year, when the Angels came to town, everybody wanted what ticket? Shohei.
Yeah.
Yankees come to town. You're hoping to see Garrett Cole.
Matt Carpenter.
Yep. Harrison Bader.
Well, you're going to see plenty of Matt Carpenter this
That was a great series 2 years ago.
Mike, you gave us a great segment, so thank you for the mic drop. And you know what, too? Let me say some nice things about the Cardinals to make Mike feel better. I think this Cardinals team is going to win the NL Central this year.
That doesn't mean anything.
No.
I think they're going to win the NL Central this year.
No.
And the bullpen I really like, and the starting rotation I think has been improved. I'm not going to go any further than that, but I think they've been improved. Mason Wynn, young, exciting player. Finally, you got somebody that's exciting on this team. And Jordan Walker is also exciting. I like your team, Mike, which means I like you.
There you go.
Because I think that's often the correlation sometimes, you know? Turn on the radio, Anthony's being negative about the Cardinals, which means he's been being negative about me. I feel bad about myself. Don't. I like your Cardinals. They're going to win the NL Central this year.
And what?
What's that?
And what?
We got mic drops. That's what. We got mic drops on Jordan Kyrou. Why do you want to see him traded? Get the people going. Next on 101 ESPN.
Yep, trade him because of his effort, and he's just like the youth these days where I breathe, so I deserve what we can realistically get from him. Probably another concession stand employee. I don't know.
All right, so Kevin, way down on Jordan Kyrou. Basically trade him just to get him out of my face. I think that was Kevin's take.
Stand employee.
Yeah.
I think he can get more than that.
Probably get 2 at least.
I mean, at the bare minimum.
I would think you could probably
cash considerations,
get all your concessions, Stan.
I would probably be able to cover the entire.
Yeah, I would think so.
An employee to be named later for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can just get all the concessions filled out.
What type of concession work? Are we looking at a beer vendor, a hot dog concession?
I'm talking about everybody. If you're trading
like a whole group of people, like what do we think?
Well, yeah, if you're trading Jordan Kyrou, I'm talking about the entire I'm talking hot dogs. I'm talking beer vendors. I'm talking the people that they're in like the side
300 section too,
like the Dippin' Dots section. I mean everything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So you're trading Kyrou.
I don't think that they would want to trade him for that though. You can call me crazy.
I don't know.
I think they got those people already hired.
You free up the contract.
Yeah.
And, those people, I'm just assuming that they would pay for the people you already have. We don't want anybody losing their job, of course, unless you're Kyrou going out the door. Yeah. So that was Kevin's take. We were listening to BK and Ferrario, did a great job earlier today talking about, well, would you trade Jordan Kyrou? We're asking why. Why would you trade Jordan Kyrou? So Kevin just discussed it with Jordan Kyrou's effort. We trade him for a concession worker. I think we did a good job, though, in getting the entire concessions team, at least, for Kyrou. What does Ed have to say about it?
Marsh had a great take with a comparison of Kyrou and Tarasenko. I always thought he had a real comp to Perron. Who was, Jamie will tell you, high flyer, white skates, young, could score from anywhere, but no defense. He left, kind of came back a new player. We loved him, and then, kept bringing him back. I'm not saying Kyrou needs it, but, I mean, he needs a shakeup, right? He, quote-unquote, got a coach fired, did or didn't. I mean, we can't really say, but that wasn't a shakeup. Tage got a shakeup going to Buffalo. I mean, he's the only thing there. That's why he's scoring so much. But, hey, what can you get? Not saying get rid of him, but like you said, if it presents itself, man, what can you get?
So let's talk about, how about this? Let's talk about the idea first of trading Jordan Kyrou. Let's talk about the idea of it, okay? What would you be hoping for? So, like Kevin just wants him gone. Mm-hmm. Not logical, practical, or smart. Okay, but I get where Kevin's coming from. Kevin went the emotional route. Let's take emotion out of it. What would your goal be? Because I actually don't think it should be about what you're getting in return. It should be about why are you trading a player that is, what would you call him, Marsh? Point per player? Point per game player?
Yeah, point per game player.
I think
what would you be freeing yourself from?
A mindset.
There you go. That's where I'm going.
And cap space too.
That as well. But I think one of the toughest things, you notice players when they don't have the new contract, they play extremely hard. And then some players, I'm not saying that this is Jordan Kyrou's situation, but some players when they get paid, they kind of dial it back a little bit. I got my money, it's guaranteed, I don't need to do. And I think at times when people watch him play, I think that's the vibe that they get. Like he's not, because you know how talented he is. And if I have to question why you don't play that way every single night, that's a problem. I shouldn't have to question your effort or your intentions. Like your intentions should be laid out. It should be shown every single night that I'm going to play this 60-minute game as hard as I can for however long I'm out on the ice. Mm-hmm. And then when my time is up, I'm going to go rest and I'm going to do it again. And I think the question that most fans have is, why is that not a consistent thing from him every single night? And that's the part where you're hearing people say, well, we need to trade him for something else. Because that's a mindset. That doesn't change. Like if that's what you're showing, if that's the effort that you're showing, it's not much that is going to get that to change for you, other than maybe a different location.
You just touched upon something that speaks to what I'm talking about from a big picture standpoint. We can get into the weeds about what you would get for Kyrou, But to me, if you're moving on from him, you want to change your culture.
Right.
You want to bring in somebody that can match what you're hoping to build. And I wonder if because Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou both got the same deal, they're similar age, they got it at the same time. You don't now have a bunch of you have veteran players. You have Braden Shen, you have Colton Parayko, you've got whoever, but you don't have a complete team like you used to around Vladimir Tarasenko. You don't have Alex Pietrangelo and Ryan O'Reilly and Braden Shen and Colton Parayko and Justin Falk and whoever, to build around Tarasenko. Tarasenko became kind of a footnote in the 2019 Stanley Cup playoffs. When you think of the 2019 Stanley Cup, as good of a postseason as Vladdy had, who do you think of when I say 2019 Stanley Cup St. Louis Blues?
I think of Binnington. I think of Petro. I think of Bouwmeester. I think of Ryan O'Reilly, David Perron. I think of Jaden Schwartz.
Okay.
The first series, he won that series.
What'd you think of Maroon?
Pat Maroon.
Okay.
But, Tarasenko.
He had a great series. He had a great postseason.
He did. He really came alive in that San Jose series. I think he had that penalty shot. That's really when he came alive. He had a goal in the Dallas series, too, but...
played good defense. He was blocking shots.
Yeah,
he played
wasn't
a complete
the
effort.
version that he was like when he came up and he's scoring 2 goals in his NHL debut against the Red Wings. Like he wasn't that flashy player. He's not the video, the cover of NHL type player.
Yes.
He was a guy that had tenure in the league and he scored when he needed to score. But you had other guys around him that made him not obsolete, but like he didn't have to.
He was
be
an afterthought.
Yeah, sure. But you don't have that right now for Jordan Kyrou.
So you either continue to build with Kyrou and kind of make him an afterthought where you say, hey, you're getting a point per game out of this guy. Cool. The rest of the team, you asked Jamie Rivers this earlier, Carey. If the rest of the team was better, would we be focusing so much on Kyrou? No.
Right.
So you either continue down this path and you make Kyrou, you just turn him into what exactly he is and don't ask him for anything else because you've got it all covered, or you trade him and say, no, that isn't good enough.
Do you have a fear that if a player is of that mindset that, it's not consistent, it's not every single day, how does that impact the rest of the team? Like if you have to sit out two of your star players for an entire third period, what is that saying about those guys or about him and how far you can go with that group if that person is one of the – because regardless of if you're a leader or not, when you are one of the highest paid players, you are naturally looked at as one of the leaders of the team. That money goes that way. You just look at him like he's making X amount of dollars. Yeah, that's one of our guys. He is important to what we're doing because if he's not having success, we're probably not having success.
It's a great question. If there's more around Kyrou, though,
he's getting paid.
He is. Just like, Vladdy got paid too. But eventually you got to a point where you had more than enough guys to carry the team, and Vladdy could just be Vladdy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just feel like if you're getting paid X amount of dollars, like Robert Thomas was an all-star this year. That's the expectation when you are getting paid X amount of for Jordan Kyrou. It's to score goals.
Sure.
It's to be impactful. If you say, well, you know what, I'm going to score 40, 35 goals, but probably not going to play much defense, people might say, okay. But you better be scoring 35 to 40 goals. Like you better make an impact on the offensive side if you're not going to give us much on the defensive side because you can't have both. You can't. I'm going to play defense when I feel like it, and there are going to be times where I don't shoot the puck. Like you have to have one or the other.
I think there's a lot of players on this team that are getting paid, not as much as them, of course, Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou. They're still getting paid a handsome amount of money, who are also very inconsistent.
Yes.
And we're not even looking at them. Sometimes there's people on the internet that are like, oh, why is this guy doing that? And I agree. Like, it's like, what are you doing out there? But we need to look at the whole group as one because there's a lot of players that are just mailing it in.
Well, and
that irritates me.
that is why, gentlemen, you're in the spot that you're in.
And a lot of them are veteran players, too. So if I'm Jordan Kyrou, I know you mentioned that he's a leader, right, because of that amount of money that he's making. And I agree with you on that to an extent. However, he's looking at some of these veteran players, and those guys are somewhat mailing it in from game to game.
Right.
Why is he going to do anything different? So that's how I look at it, a young guy looking at a veteran. Like, to me, the veterans, even though they're making less, they should still be setting the tone in that locker room.
Well, I think the bottom line is, to your guys' point, the bottom line is you're not getting enough production out of your salary, out of your cap.
Yeah.
You're not. That's why you are currently looking up at the Kings and Predators when it comes to the wild card.
Well, I think
you're not getting enough production. You either want a young cost control roster that is overachieving, or you want to be getting exactly what you're paying for. And the Blues you're not. Yeah, you're underachieving based on the salaries.
Is bad contracts.
Yes.
That's been the theme for like 2 years now. It's bad contracts, and let's not forget about that.
It's the entire
roster.
It's more than just Kyrou, to your point. All right. Running backs are Carey. I was at the gym today. I looked up, and I think it was ESPN. They're having the discussion about whether or not running backs are being disrespected.
Of course.
And I thought to myself, man, my co-host and my dear friend Carey Davis, he's going to agree. But is it accurate? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked with Jamie earlier in the show. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to our podcast page. You'll find everything there, our interviews, our full shows, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. Speaking of interviews, we'll talk with Joe Vitale later in the show around 4:30, so stay tuned for that. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
Working out today at the MAC, and I looked up and I saw one of the TV screens. I think it was on ESPN, and they were having the discussion about whether or not running backs are being disrespected because Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, and Austin Eckler have either been told or there are reports that their teams will not place the franchise tag on them. And I thought to myself, boy, Carey Davis is going to have a lot to say about this, the former running back and Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Carey, given the news that these running backs, these top running backs, are not going to be given the franchise tag by their respective teams, do you think they're being disrespected? Do you think the running back position is being disrespected?
Well, yeah, it always has been. For the last 10 to 15 years, I think. You know, there's a mindset that you can find a running back later in the draft. No need to draft them in the first round, and no need to spend extra money on a running back because I guess people feel like they come a dime a dozen. But here's the thing. Last year, most of these guys were complaining about potentially receiving the franchise tag. They didn't want to. So now you're not going to receive it, and you have an opportunity to go wherever you want via free agency. And I think that's what every player wants. They want to be able to pick the team that they want to play for, be able to sign a contract that they feel they are worthy of, and hopefully win a championship in that place. So I don't think it's a terrible thing because these guys are, as I said, free agents, will be free agents, and will get an opportunity to sign somewhere. The only question that I think that there is, you know, how much money? Mm-hmm. Because you probably won't see the 3 years, 4 years, $60 million deals, right? 3 years, 60. It's just going to be hard. And so they're going to have to, most of these guys are going to go on a 1 or 2 year deal. 1 2 year deal, maybe with a team option for the second one, and redo it again. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because the running back, in my opinion, takes the most punishment of any position on the field. I mean, when you have that ball in your hand, you literally have 11 guys trying to cause physical harm to you. When you're a receiver and you catch the ball, you don't have D linemen that close to you. When you are a quarterback, you don't have you got D linemen, but you don't have secondary members. But when you are a running back and you break through the line of scrimmage, you got all 11 guys on the defensive side trying to tackle you and cause harm to you. So it's unfortunate that despite all of the work that they do, they're not going to be rewarded for it.
Do you think that some of these running backs, given what team that they were on, that the team just looks at that and they're like, we're not a Super Bowl winning team. Like, so why give them that money? Like, we're not going to be there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So let's take a different approach. The only team I could push back on that is probably the Chargers.
Yeah.
They're probably the closest, but I look at Tennessee, they're not a Super Bowl team. The Giants aren't a Super Bowl team. They need a new quarterback to begin with, but they're stuck with Daniel Jones. Who was the other? Who was the other team? Josh Jacobs. Yeah. They're not a Super Bowl team. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, why pay these guys? Let's just move on.
So isn't that part of the point, though? So, Carey, let me ask you this, and be honest. And, Marsh, I think based on what you just said, you'd be in line with me. Be honest about this. You're building a team. Mm-hmm. You're building the team in the NFL. You have X amount of cap space to go around. What positions are you investing in?
Oh, quarterback first.
Quarterback first.
Number one. And then offensive line to protect my quarterback. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a defensive line, somebody that can get after the quarterback.
There you go.
Because those are, in my opinion, the most important positions. And after that, we can figure it out.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I might take a tight end, a star tight end, because how he can impact the middle of the field.
Sure.
And if I got a younger quarterback, he can big body guy, get him the ball.
Yeah.
But you definitely need to have a running game, like some form of a running game. But your OC has to call runs. Like the Baltimore Ravens ran the ball, I think 7 times with their running backs in that AFC Championship game, and they lost. So it's nice to have those guys, but you have to utilize those guys and allow them to be as impactful as they can. We talked about, Christian McCaffrey is a perfect example. He's going to touch the football. Isaiah Pacheco, we knew that if he got the ball in that Super Bowl, they were going to have more success. So it's important, but I think some of these organizations just don't view it as that way, and they think, I can go get a 7th-round pick in Isaiah Pacheco and be okay. But Christian McCaffrey wasn't. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's more about the player than it is where you find them.
But I think though you hit on it though. You think just like NFL teams think.
Yeah.
I have X amount of cap space to devote to the quarterback. If I don't know the quarterback, it doesn't matter who the running back is. Offensive line, pay guys that are going to get after the quarterback. You start there. At some point, you run out of cap space and you say, okay, where can I find value in the drafts? You can find value in the middle to late rounds when it comes to running backs.
Right.
It's not just the Chiefs.
But they felt that way about Tony Pollard.
Right.
And Tony Pollard was not. You could, if you had eyes and understood how football works, you could understand that Zeke and Tony Pollard together were a hell of a combination. Sure. Tony Pollard by himself was not going to be what you needed him to be.
Right.
And so, that's not a top-tier draft pick that they got, but just not understanding the position in the way that it needs to be understood and the impact of that position and certain players. I think Saquon Barkley is a guy you can get the ball to 25 times a game. 25 touches. It could be 10, 7 or 8 passes and 15 carries, whatever the case may be. Derrick Henry, you can hand him the ball 25 times and know that he's going to get close to 100 yards and be punishing defenses.
But you got to pay for that.
You do, but you don't get that everywhere. Like it's hard to find a guy that can run the ball downhill as many times as he can and punish defenses.
But if I'm looking at it, I'm trying to win NFL games. I'm trying to get to the Super Bowl. I'm trying to do, and we're not working in Major League Baseball where it's a free for all. Where only 5 teams can actually, 5 teams are going to be willing to spend. I have got to devote my cap space to positions that are going to be the most impactful. I would love to have Derrick Henry. I would love to have Saquon Barkley. But can I get by with Saquon? Can I get by with Isaiah Pacheco or Damian Williams or whoever?
If you got Patrick Mahomes,
right? That's the thing. Like it has to work with your offense, though. If you're a team that needs the running back position to step up and be productive to make things easier for your quarterback, then you probably need to have a guy that's like a bell cow that can really just take the ball and literally run with it. Even then, I still want to pay my defensive line. I still want to pay my offensive line. I want to build in the trenches and work out. But again, that's why every team's not perfect, right? Because you have to make those decisions, and some teams are better than others. They do it better than others. But I think it comes down to timing. Some teams have really good running games. Well, they don't have to pay that guy because he's a rookie, or like he's on a rookie deal. The same thing with the quarterback, right? Like that's why some teams have more success, and it's harder to have sustained success. I think some of these guys that we mentioned, though, they have trouble staying healthy. That's a huge thing. I'm not going to give a bunch of money to a guy that can't go a full year playing. Yeah. When was the last time Austin Eckler was healthy for a full year?
Yeah, it's been a minute. That goes to Carey's point about just the nature of the position, and it sucks for them because you're right. They take the beating and then they turn around, they don't get paid. It's like you might get hurt because you play that position. It's tough. I think all things are true here. What we're talking about, I think that having a sound running game is important. Yes, the Chiefs had Patrick Mahomes. They also have to pay Patrick Mahomes, though. You have to at some point say, where am I going to save?
Right.
What's my identity of the team? What actually helps me win the Super Bowl? I think it's more complicated than just saying, these running backs are being disrespected. Because if I'm building an NFL team, I'm not shelling out a bunch of money. I'm not dedicating a lot of cap space to Saquon Barkley or to Derrick Henry just because those are good players. I have to look at my O-line, my D-line, and of course the quarterback.
Yeah, but they are important players.
They are
for your roster and for your offensive, side of the ball. And if you have one of those guys that can take care of the ball, control the clock, and keep an opposing elite quarterback off of the field, you would definitely want to have one of those guys.
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Are you sold? We're going to play Are You Sold next. 314-399-9646. If you want to deliver an Are You Sold for us, we'll do it next in the Fast Lane. Let's play Are You Sold in the Fast Lane with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
All right, gentlemen, from the 314, are you sold on this quote-unquote veteran presence? The Cardinals front office have signed this offseason that they will make a long-lasting impact on the younger players and actually foster real growth and development in future seasons when the veterans are all gone again.
Well, yeah.
Wow.
I told you. Veteran presence is what wins championships, not
All
the
right.
players.
Carey, do you
Not a lot of
actually
money.
believe that?
I mean, the Cardinals do. So, yeah. Of course. Why wouldn't I believe that?
All right, so let's unpack this.
All right.
I think Sonny Gray can have a big impact. I think Lance Lynn can have a big impact. Same with Gibson. But who else are they imparting wisdom on? Like Zach Thompson, Matthew Liberatore. And are they going to do that? Because once spring training ends and some of these guys go back to Memphis.
How does that work?
How's that work, right?
Probably not.
But I do think that Wilson Contreras can impart wisdom on Ivan Herrera.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Matt Carpenter can help out young guys like Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn. So yeah, I do. I think you can have a long lasting impact. However, it does start with the young guys. Because if you're Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker, those are two guys that seem very open and respectful to players that have done it before them.
Yeah. I think, obviously, you have to play well. Like you can have all the veterans in the world. If guys aren't playing well, it doesn't matter. You can have guys talking till their heads are blue. You got to perform well on game day and start there. And now, for me, the veteran presence helps with everything else. How to manage when you're in a slump, right? Or you got some things going on at home that are maybe carrying over to the ballpark. How to manage those, how to compartmentalize those things and make sure that you aren't taking your off-the-field stuff onto the field with you and you're clear and present when you show up every single day. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what veteran leadership mostly does. Yeah. Make sure that guys are prepared for game day. Now, what your talent is going to get you through the rest of it. Yeah. Like you know. But you're going to have some times where you're struggling, and having a guy that has been in that position talking to you and helping you talk you out of it is very, very important.
From the 314, are you sold that Blues ownership will force Doug Armstrong to be a buyer at the deadline because they want gate revenue?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't get that impression at all. I don't get the impression at all that Stillman interacts with Doug Armstrong and is one of those the owners that's hands-on with his player personnel men. I think Stillman is hands-off in that regard. I think he lets the hockey people do the hockey things. I think Doug Armstrong, it's his vision, it's his plan, it's his execution. So no, I'm not sold on that at all. I think Doug Armstrong, whatever Doug Armstrong does at the deadline, it will be because he wanted that. Not Stillman. I think Stillman trusts Army. That's the vibe I get.
I agree with you.
From the 314, are you sold that Shohei Ohtani will win the batting title this year in the National League?
Going to be hard to do so when Nolan Arenado wins the batting title for the National League.
That didn't really seem that convincing. You might need to do that.
He's going to have some guys on his team that he's competing with, isn't he?
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt.
No, not that guy.
Oh.
Shohei, man.
Oh, come on, Carey.
You're the one
like
that said the
Mookie Betts?
Yeah, Mookie.
Freddie Freeman?
Yeah.
Will Smith?
Maybe.
Few guys. You're the one that said the Dodgers are going to win the World Series.
I did not.
You said they signed everybody this offseason.
That's because they signed everybody this offseason.
They spent $1 billion, and they basically making their way to the World Series.
You added that last part.
Well, I think that's what you said.
They signed Shohei Ohtani. They signed Yamamoto. They signed. They acquired Teoscar Hernandez. They acquired.
You said they signed
now.
everyone this offseason.
They did.
Which also means that they're going to win the World Series.
No, dude.
How does that not? What? If you signed everyone, then no one has. Then everyone else doesn't have anyone.
I'm not saying that.
That's what you said.
No. No.
I know I've been a little under the weather.
You have.
But I'm pretty sure I heard that. Marsh, did you hear that?
You're a little foggy right now.
Yeah.
They signed everybody.
You heard it because Carey said it, not because I said it.
I heard it last week.
And they're going to win a World
from
Series.
Carey.
No, I think you said it last week, and then Carey brought it up and reminded me last week that you had said that the Dodgers would win the World Series.
Because they signed everybody and spent $1 billion. I hear it.
But you know what? You know what the Dodgers are? I made a a reference to Jurassic Park. I have another one here.
They're the Indominus Rex.
No. It's not. It has nothing to do with dinosaurs. No dinosaurs involved. The Dodgers are that kid that plays video games that doesn't want to actually take the time to unlock all the cool things. He's just going to have mom and dad pay for it. Yeah. And so he goes in and pays for everything, gets all the V-Bucks, and then pays for all the cool stuff, and then becomes, quote-unquote, good.
I see what you're saying.
It's like...
Instead of going through the actual challenges.
Yeah, and actually unlocking players. You just buy all the good players.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Video game where
you didn't have to buy stuff back in the day.
No, this is new age. You have to play the certain challenge, beat the challenge, and then it unlocks something that gives you more money or gives you access to something else. Or you can just pay $25, $10 to unlock it and not have to go through the challenge.
Oh.
And then you get
What's the point of that?
It's easier. And then you become better. Like the Dodgers.
You really don't.
Dodgers. And that's how they're going to win the World Series, Anthony.
Yeah. They're going to be all the way at the end while everybody else is fighting through the challenges because they just paid for it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Patriots. They used to start on level 10 of 20 every single year because they played in the AFC East.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
It reminded me of another team.
You know who they are? You know, we're still speaking video games. They're playing in one of the easy lobbies. Like, everyone's playing on normal. They're playing on beginner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
They had, like, the best video game player ever. And they also
boosted player.
Got to start on level 10.
Makes life easier.
It certainly does.
You were saying they're like another team?
We got the Gauntlet. We got a returning Gauntlet member next here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Anthony Stalter back with you. My guy Stewie's on the line. Stewie, I was asked a question the other day from somebody, and they were like, I hear you talk to Stewie all the time. Why is it so important to be pre-approved by the right lender? I go, hey, that's a great question for Stewie. So Stewie, take over.
That's a real big deal. Okay, we had a person that was trying to buy a house. They went with a national bank. Our customer who went with us submitted their contract with our pre-approval letter. That customer offered $10,000 more, but because it was with the national bank, the real estate agents didn't have the confidence they could close quickly and on time. They took our contract. So you have to have somebody local, somebody you trust, and somebody knows what they're doing. Another contract got declined because the lender that a customer used wasn't the proper lender. That particular lender had a bad reputation. Again, the real estate agents didn't take that contract. You got to go with somebody everybody knows. You got to go with somebody you can trust. You got to go with the bagel loan.
There you go. That's Stewie, and that's his personal creation, that bagel loan. Give him a call or text him at 314-324-4440. Ask him about the bagel loan. Ask him how much he can save you over the course of your loan, and ask him how you're going to be in a much better situation when it comes to being pre-approved with Stewie as opposed to a different lender that's not the right lender. He is Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Google the bagel loan if you missed that number before. Stewie, keep up the great work.
Enjoy the sunshine, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
No contract, no enrollment fee. The time to join Club Fitness is now. Sign up with our Platinum membership by March 4th. No contract, no enrollment fee, just results. Join now at clubfitness.us or stop by any of our 19 locations.
Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
404, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we've got a returning Gauntlet guest. Marsh, who we got?
We have Brad today.
Brad, you knocked off Carey yesterday, and you're back for round 2, where you're going to take on either Marsh or me today. What's going on, man?
Not much. How's your day going?
Day's going pretty good. Brad,
Yeah.
would you like to take on Marsh?
Everybody's got their coats for this morning. It's going to drop to 30 degrees tonight. Can't believe it.
Brad, shut your mouth. I don't like hearing that.
I know. Well, all right. Anyway, I'm going to go with Marsh because I'm waiting for you to be last because you took me out last time, bud.
All right. Brad's working his way kind of a similar way as last time. So, Brad, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel, and then we'll go from there.
Marsh, spin the wheel and leave the room.
All right, sounds good. Brad's aggressive today. Are you still hoping for hockey or random, Brad, or what are you hoping for?
Absolutely. Those are my 2 strongest.
Okay, sounds good. Marsh is not out of the room yet. He's going to the cone of silence after giving Carey the launch codes. Carey, can you see that?
Yeah, I can.
Oh.
It's hockey.
Okay, so we got hockey today. How you feel about that, Brad?
All right.
Okay.
I feel good.
All right.
Thank you, Carey. All right. Brad, as you know, 4 questions, all hockey. Marsh is going to get the same 4 questions today. Each question is worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. In Game 7 against the Blackhawks in 2016, Troy Brouwer scored the game-winning goal in the 3rd period. Paul Stastny had the secondary assist. Who had the primary assist on that goal?
2016.
Yep.
Give me the options. I don't want to go through. Give me the options.
All right. Jaden Schwartz, Robbie Fabry, or Yori Laterra?
So many jokes. I'll go with Fabry.
Final answer?
Final answer, Fabry, yeah.
Question number 2. Paul Stastny played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Which team drafted him?
I think for Winnipeg, but that's me. I'm just going to, for some reason, I think it's Winnipeg. I'm going to go with Winnipeg.
Final answer?
Final answer. Final answer.
All right, question 3, Brad. Paul's father, Peter Stastny, played the majority of his NHL career with which team?
Peter Stastny played with the Eastern Conference team, Washington, or Houston. Yeah. Give me the options.
The Quebec Nordiques, the Hartford Whalers, or the New Jersey Devils?
Oh, what's the other one saying? I'm going to say Nordiques, Quebec Nordiques. Final answer.
Final question. The Nordiques turned into which current NHL franchise?
Colorado Avalanche. Final answer.
All right, we will welcome Marsh back in from the Cone of Silence. Brad, how you feeling?
I think I got 3 right. One I'm completely guessing on.
Okay. All right, Marsh is making his way back in from the cone of silence right now. He's got his customary water. Likely to take a sip of said water before he puts on his headphones, and he gets ready to go here. Headphones on, mic adjusted. Sip of water's coming.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go. All right, Marsh. The Wheel of Destiny chose hockey for you today.
The Wheel of Destiny?
Yeah. Since Carey's trying to save his voice,
I'll death.
Wheel of Death? Oh, man.
Pack a lunch, Marsh.
Okay.
Question 1. In Game 7 against the Blackhawks in 2016, Troy Brouwer scored the game-winning goal in the third period. Paul Stastny had the secondary assist. Who had the primary assist on that goal?
Yeah, Robbie Fabry, final answer.
Robbie Fabry.
All right, question number 2. Paul Stastny played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Which team drafted him?
That would be the... I think it was the... Was it the Colorado Avalanche? Yeah, it was the Colorado Avalanche. Final answer.
Question 3. Paul's father, Peter Stastny, played the majority of his NHL career with which team?
I'll go with the Quebec Nordiques. Final answer.
Question number 4. The Nordiques turned into which current NHL franchise?
The Colorado Avalanche. Final answer.
All right, Marsh, just a recommendation for you. You got to slow down. You got to slow down. You got to listen to the question in full.
Oh.
Because I think you missed some things here. Well, let's go over these. You gave his final answer anyways. In Game 7 against the Blackhawks in 2016, Troy Brouwer scored the game-winning goal in the third period. Paul Stastny had the secondary assist. Who had the primary assist on that goal? Brad, you said Robbie Fabry. Marsh, you said Robbie Fabry. Correct answer is...
Robbie Fabry.
But Marsh didn't need the option, so we had a 2-1 lead for Marsh. Paul Stastny played for 5 different teams. Actually, we're going to hop over that. Paul's father, Peter Stastny, played the majority of his NHL career with which team? Brad, you said the Quebec Nordiques. Marsh, you also went with the Nordiques. Correct answer is...
The Quebec Nordiques.
But Marsh didn't need the options. 4-2 lead for Marsh. The Nordiques turned into which NHL franchise? Which current NHL franchise? Brad, you said the Colorado Avalanche. Marsh, you said the Avalanche. Correct answer is?
The Colorado Avalanche.
Neither of you needed the options for that one. So as it stands right now, Marsh with 6. Brad with 4. Neither of you used the options for this last question. Paul Stastny played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Which team drafted him? Marsh, you said the Colorado Avalanche. Brad, you said the Winnipeg Jets. Since Carey and I have the options in front of us, we'll let you know that both teams were options.
They were.
The other option was the Carolina Hurricanes. If it's the Colorado Avalanche, Marsh sweeps the board today. If it's the Winnipeg Jets, we get a walk-off. If it's the Carolina Hurricanes, well, Marsh still wins today because he's got that lead. Carey, which team drafted Paul Stastny?
The Colorado Avalanche.
Brad.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Marsh was on one today. He wins 8-4 today, Brad. You got to round 2. Questions were right in his wheelhouse, though, man. Sorry. Thanks for playing, though.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. Love the show. Keep it up.
Thanks,
Good
Brad.
job,
We
Brad.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
We'll see you, buddy. All right.
Damn, Marshy.
That was the Jordan flu game right there.
That was. Yep, that certainly was. Nice job. I had to throw
Thank
a little
you.
drama into
You were
you.
trying to trip me up there. I was like, oh, crap.
I didn't hear it.
No, you definitely heard all the questions and you heard them correctly. Marsh wins to 8-4.
Music I was listening to.
What were you listening to in there? Fortnite?
No, not today. I was listening to the Godzilla theme music.
Oh,
yeah.
Little Led Zeppelin with P. Diddy or whatever. Puff Daddy.
I don't
really.
Yeah.
Godzilla?
The Godzilla soundtrack from back in the day?
No, I was thinking of Godzilla -1, that soundtrack.
I don't know what Godzilla -1 is. I thought you were talking about the movie soundtrack, Godzilla.
I'm talking about the with Matthew Broderick? That Godzilla movie?
I don't know.
That movie.
I'm talking about the one like 20 years ago. Puff Daddy did a remix with.
Never knew that.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that up. I have no idea what you're talking about.
you'll like it, or you
Maybe.
won't. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
No,
I have no idea what Godzilla -1 is.
You should check it out.
Like -1 of his arms?
No,
Or?
it's just called Godzilla -1.
That doesn't make any sense.
heard of it.
And it just came out. Like it's a Japanese film. It's all in Japanese.
Okay.
But they played it here in the United States. It won awards. Had a small budget. It was a great film. Great film. Highly recommended. Probably the best Godzilla movie ever made,
No kidding.
in my opinion.
Even on a small budget, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a couple $1 million.
Okay.
But like compared to the Avengers, they had like a couple $100 million budget.
All right, fair enough. The Cardinals, Victor Scott. Should we be rooting for Victor Scott to earn the center field job? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you've been run down, if you haven't been feeling like yourself, if you feel like you're doing everything you can in the gym, not seeing the results, or maybe you're at home and you're stressed out or you're frustrated, same thing at work, head down to Mentality. See Jamie and my friends down there. They got 2 different locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield. Same people, though. Then the people are fantastic there. The nurses are great. The people that take your blood and everything and look over things for you, they're there to help you. That's the point. If you feel as though that at early 40s like I am, or mid 40s like Jamie is, or maybe you're in your late 30s, and you feel like everything's a struggle, maybe you're low on testosterone. That's what Jamie and I went into Mentality for. We checked out everything. They checked us out, did the blood panel, all that, realized that we were low on testosterone and some other vitamins. So they got us on the program, and the results for Jamie and I have been fantastic. Fat loss, building the muscle. More importantly, though, we're motivated to get in the gym, motivated to stay there. If you're dealing with mood changes, depression, low energy, all that, stop reaching for the energy drinks and instead go down to Mentality, see what's going on, because there might be something that can help you that is safe, and they do a great job of monitoring your progress, talking to you about how you're feeling, taking your blood, making sure that everything is on track. Mentality is safe, and the results are outstanding. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there, or visit lowtusa.com. Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh from Anthony Stalter. Joe Vitale is going to join us in 10 minutes from Winnipeg. We'll talk a little Blues hockey with him. But before we do that, back into the Cardinals. Victor Scott in today's game. And this is a tweet that was handed to us by our guy Swan. Victor Scott had the hardest hit ball at 105.9 miles per hour. He had the fastest sprint speed at 30.2 miles per hour and the hardest throw at 90.4 miles per hour. Now, those are analytics, and Carey, I know you don't like analytics.
Nah, I do.
You like them when they're pretty good for
when they make sense
for the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Victor Scott, is it crazy to think that he could have a great spring, turn heads so much, Jordan Walker style a year ago? Now, they're not the same prospect, right? Like Jordan Walker was somebody that everybody knew was going to be a top prospect. Victor Scott has become a top 100 prospect this year, but it wasn't a year ago. But is it crazy to think that Victor Scott could emerge out of spring training and make the team?
Well, I think with the injury to Tommy Edman, you probably are looking at that potential. And again, how well does Dylan Carlson do? It's about these people getting an opportunity, and with injuries, opportunities they arise. So this is an opportunity for Victor Scott. I think he is a talented player, very talented player, and you want lockdown defense. You want guys that can cover ground, that can make plays in the outfield. And I've said this time and time again, if Victor Scott is your center fielder, then it makes life easier to put Tommy Edman when he's healthy back at second base because he has won a Gold Glove there. Mm-hmm. Now your defense up the middle with Mason Wynn, Tyler Edman, and Victor Scott is stellar. It should be, which helps your pitching staff. And all of those things, some of the issues that we had last year, we're going to give up some hits. You're going to get bats on balls. Well, hopefully, with great and elite fielders with range and the ability to move around, you won't give up as many hits. So I think it just makes your team better. And all in all, when you have competition, then your team is going to be better. But him being able to solidify himself, and if he can hit at the plate, obviously he can run, he can do all of the things. He has all the intangibles. If he can find a way to be on this opening day roster and be your starting center fielder, I think your team is better because of it.
I would love for Victor Scott to be on this team. He reminds me of like Shane Victorino, right? Out in center field, shorter guy, but just fast as you know what.
Yeah.
Can hit the ball, can steal bases. The thing is, though, if he is not going to be your everyday center fielder, he should not be on the big club. He needs to get at bats.
Yeah.
He just played Double-A, right? So he needs to get some of those at bats. I could see something like what we saw last year happening with Mason Wynn, right? He went all the way down to like September before he got called up, or was it whatever? The months blurred together.
Yeah, he wasn't up very long.
Yeah, but. Watching that dude steal bases the other day was incredible. Like,
you
need that on your team.
You get him, Mason Wynn. Like, you get guys that are not station to station, that can create runs, that can put pressure on opposing pitchers. That's what makes your team better. When you can manufacture runs in ways that you couldn't do last year because they just weren't able to. You need those things, and again, it makes your defense better. It makes your ability on the base pass better. I don't. If he's able to handle major league pitching and not struggle, not have issues, I don't see why he wouldn't be.
He got a base hit and scored without the Cardinals even getting a hit the other day, which is huge because they couldn't get hits with runners in scoring position last year.
Right.
So if you have him stealing home every time, if that's the case, if he can do it, that's great.
It would be a benefit, that's for sure.
But if he does make the team, who is not on the team then?
Well, initially it would be Tommy Edman.
Well, when he comes back.
When he comes back,
because your outfield
if Victor Scott if he's like the guy, then it's Alec Burleson.
Because your outfield is solidified.
Yeah.
Or is it Brandon Crawford?
Or it could be Brandon Crawford,
you don't think he's going to be here more than 2 weeks?
I don't, because I think it's a Tommy Edman injury.
He's here just for a cup of coffee.
He's here just to provide injury depth.
Would you rather have Brandon Crawford or Alec Burleson on your team? Because how much outfield depth do you already have?
And he's not, and Burleson's not an outfielder.
Yeah, what he has next to his name. No, and they have OF.
We could.
I'm just telling you what the Cardinals
said. You could put MD next to my name. Doesn't make me a doctor.
It would.
I guess Alec Burleson, because he provide. I mean, if you're talking about a bench bat, I would want somebody with power. So Burleson in that case. I don't know. I'm fired up for the idea of Victor Scott having a big spring training, making the big league team, and then him sticking around and having Tommy Edman back at second base. You'd be solid up the middle.
So
I love his mindset. I want more players like with that mindset.
You just want, you know what, Marsh? You just want exciting players.
I do, and
that's all you want. You just want exciting players. You're sick of boring players.
I am sick of boring players.
You're a boringist.
Oh,
you hate boring people.
Well, we all probably are that then.
Marsh, I'm with you.
I want to go to the ballpark, and I want to see exciting players. I want to see people without Marlins jerseys at Busch Stadium when they're not playing the Marlins. I want to see a lot of exciting things, and I didn't really get to see that last year.
No.
And I went to the games and a few of the games, and I had a good time. But like at the end of the day,
could have had a better time.
If they won more games.
I went to that first series actually, thanks to you. You actually hooked me up with some tickets.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Went with Action Jackson.
Nice.
Saw Jack Flaherty walk like 10 guys. Gave up 0 hits,
won that
no
game,
runs.
though.
Yeah, they ended up winning. I thought this would be a great year.
You got to win.
Little did I know that was a microcosm of what that season was going to be.
That was good. All right, we got to get to Joe Vitale, who's going to join us from Winnipeg. All right, but before we do, real quick, does Victor Scott make the team out of spring training, yes or no? This is total prediction, total guess.
I'm going to say he should. He probably will do enough too, but I'm going to say no.
I agree with Carey.
Which is disheartening.
I'm going to say yes.
He's too cool for the Cardinals.
I'm going to say yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah,
cool kids.
He's more of a race player.
You saying they're going to trade him to the Rays now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
Yep.
5-4-26.
They got somebody down there that they're overhyping pitching wise that they're going to be like, you know what, we'll give this guy up to you.
You can have him.
Yeah.
He's Victor.
We don't want to give him up, but I think he makes the team. And then when Tommy Edman's activated, they sent him down, even though he's like 30 for 30.
No. What?
With 10 steals.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Man, we just need his launch angle to be a little bit more.
Joe Vitale next from Winnipeg here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We're going to be joined by our guy, Joe Vitale, coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. We'll talk about your St. Louis Blues and what they have to do to get back on track tonight against the Jets. That's coming your way next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Joey Vitale views things a little differently. Just imagine how he looks at hockey. Whoa! This is The View from Vitale, brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
With Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's head to our 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. We have Joe Vitale on the line, and tonight the Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets. Pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. What's up, Joe?
Stall, things are going good, man. Things are going really good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. Not a great game in Detroit. Some would say a total disaster, dumpster fire, Joe. But look, you're only as good as the game that you're about to play, or something like that. Winnipeg is a really good team, though. So how do the Blues get to their quote-unquote game? Because they keep talking about how they just need to get to their game, Joe. So how do they get to it tonight?
Well, first of all, I really like your line better than my line. My line was you're only as good as your last game. And considering that Detroit game, I'm going with your line. I like your line a little bit better. I don't want this Blues team to think you're only as good as your last game. This is the Red Wings game. I tell you what, this is a situation for this team, and you hear that term a lot, find our game. We got to find our game. We got to get to our game. One of the areas, and you can break this down, I mean, so much needs to go right to win hockey games. So much needs to go right to win championships. You need that synergy. You need a lot of things to go right all at the right time. One of the areas, just looking at the last two games, when this Blues team talks about we have to find our game again, an area certainly to keep an eye on tonight's game, it's gotten really loose over the last two, has been that backdoor pressure that we're seeing. The Islanders could have capitalized 3 or 4 times on the power play in 5-on-5, just passes that are going right through the crease. Backdoor options, and I don't know how the New York Islanders didn't take advantage. Zach Hyman had 2 point-blank chances across the paint. One thing good about our goaltending is the lateral motion, the lateral movements. Binnington and Hofer both have been bailing this team out a lot when it comes to that backside pressure. And then you're starting to see in that Detroit game where when it's not good, then the goalies have to feel like they need to lean to the left and lean to the right when they're taking pressure. So instead of just facing a shot and taking on that shot with the trust of having the back door covered by your defenseman, now the goalies are in between because that back door is not covered, which is very difficult for goaltenders, we all know, because at the end of the day, they're human. They can't do it all.
Joey, there's been a level of frustration for Jordan Kyrou and just from fans getting out in our text line all day. What are your thoughts on his play, and what do you think he needs to do to be better to help this team win games?
Well, first of all, I'll say that I think the frustration by the fans, I'm not going to say it's not warranted. I think it is warranted at times, and I can see why they are frustrated by him and his play. And why I say that is because you go back to 2 games ago when he was just so unbelievably good in that Islanders game. I mean, to me, even though he wasn't a star in that game, I think he was the best player on the ice. And listen, you had a goaltender that got a 38-save shutout. You had one guy that had a hat trick, and you had another guy that had 3 assists, Thomas, Buchnevich, and, of course, Binnington with the shutout. But it was actually Kyrou in my mind from how I watched it upstairs. It was the driver of that line, the driver of that game. He took that game over by the forecheck, stripping pucks and creating plays. So for fans, they see that. They see the speed. They see the tenacity. They see how his movement through the neutral zone, his forechecking ability, when he's competing on pucks, it can turn the game over. And he can single-handedly change the trajectory of a game. And there's not many players in the National Hockey League can do that. Certainly the obvious ones are the Connor McDavids and the Nathan McKinnons. But that second layer beyond that, just below those type of players, to me, I think Jordan Kyrou's there. He's a player that can take over a game and really drive it in the direction where he wants. He can slow it down or speed it up according to will. So
Joe?
Really, really bad. I think for some reason, he's finding a little bit tough time finding that consistency. And I think that's why fans are frustrated. And Drew Bannister, of course, tried to get his attention last game. He didn't like his first two periods. Kyrou only played one shift in the third.
Joey. All right, let's try to get Joe back on the line here. I know Joe is prepping for tonight's game, so let's get him back on the line. It's interesting. Jamie, we asked Jamie about Jordan Kyrou earlier, and hey, Joe, are you there?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, there we go. Got you now. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue. No, you're fine.
Sorry about that, fellas. Must have hit a bad area. No, I was just saying that, it looks so good, and then it can look a little rotten, as it did in Detroit, where, pucks are being turned over. He doesn't have that speed, doesn't have the forechecking, and then, of course, not even a shot on goal in that game between him and Thomas. They're too good of players. And a first line has to be a driver every single night, at least to some degree. And, of course, Bannister didn't see that enough in Detroit, and he sat him in that third period. So that's going to be a big storyline heading into tonight's game against the Jets, is how is this top line going to respond from not playing pretty much the entire third period against that Detroit Red Wings team?
Joe, I had made this comment yesterday, in fact, and I asked Jamie the same question. I'd love to have your take on it as well. We often talk about the Blues. We don't know, for their identity, or we don't know what we're going to get on a game-to-game basis. I think they're overly relying on their goaltending. I think if the goaltending is outstanding in the first period, they have a good shot to win. If not, we saw it in Detroit, forget it. Is that fair to say that this Blues team is just overly relying on the goaltender, and how Binnington or Hofer tonight plays, that's how the team's going to play?
Stalter, you're so accurate with that. I'm going to have you go downtown to Ballpark Village and take over the pregame show.
You're just trying to get out of doing the pregame, Joe. I see what you're doing.
I think you can do it. I'm actually, if fans want to tune in all seriousness, for Valley's pregame, I'll be on tonight at 6:30, and
good.
In that first block, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna sit in front of a touch screen. We're gonna kind of break down what you just talked about. I think you're absolutely right, and I've talked to Davey Alexander on multiple occasions. Of course, the goaltending coach for St. Louis, multiple occasions about when you have a great goaltender like Jordan Binnington and Joe Hofer. I'm gonna throw both of them in there, and it is special what the Blues have in the goaltending situation. And I know that because I talk to scouts around the league. When I'm in away buildings, they're always asking about our goalies. Every team is looking for what we have. We have it. But the problem with it being so good is that you can get really loose and you can be a little bit lackadaisical because, you are counting on that your goalies are just that good. And I think that we're starting to see that. You look at the Islanders game, and I'm going to show you some clips tonight if you want to watch it, but there are times that backdoor options on the power play, multiple chances they could have scored on, and they didn't. Zach Hyman in the Toronto game, he had two point-blank backdoor chances. They should be goals. Anyone can score these goals, and all of a sudden Binnington slides over laterally, good hard push, and makes a save. So you love that you have a goaltender that can make those type of saves, but the problem is if you're not fixing the issue, eventually, because he is human. That's what really was noticeable in that Detroit game, is that I think the Blues have been leaning too heavily on Binnington being this good, that now the structure defensively is a little bit loose because you have such a good goaltender, when at the end of the day, guys, it can take you a little bit far, but it's going to stop at some point. Your goaltender cannot make every single acrobatic backdoor save that's imaginable. At some point it's going to break, and certainly in that Detroit game it did.
Joey, just a week ago, they were the number 2 seed in the wild card. Right now, they're chasing the Predators, and they're 4 points behind. Any doubt or any thought that they will be able to actually get it back into that number 2 wild card spot?
Well, it goes to show you how quickly things can change, of course, in the standings. And this goes for a lot of different sports, but certainly hockey in this time of the year. I mean, the Arizona Coyotes, who the Blues were chasing for the majority of the season, have just lost 12 straight, and they're out, and I don't think they're ever going to come back. And that happens pretty quickly. On the flip side, you look at the Nashville Predators, a team that caught the Blues, now ahead in the Blues by 4 points. And they went on a 5-game winning streak all on the road. It started with the St. Louis game when they beat the Blues here on home ice here. And then they went on 4 more on that entire road trip, and now they put themselves in a wonderful spot. So that's what's interesting about this division. As soon as the Blues put together a pile of wins like they did right around the All-Star break, winning 6 out of 7, now they're starting to kind of throw them away again, losing 3 out of 4 and 2 out of 3, and now just five games over 500. So this is where, is it reachable? Absolutely. Is it attainable? 100%. But if it is going to have to happen on these next 8 games, in my opinion. At the end of the 7th game is the trade deadline, and certainly decisions will have to be made. But the next 8 games, 7 of the 8 are all on the road. And like I mentioned, the Nashville Predators certainly found their game on the road, winning 5 straight. Can the Blues do that as well? We're not talking about winning, 8 of the next 8. I mean, that's a little unrealistic. But of the 7 next road games, of the 8, can you put together, I don't know, a 6-2 record, maybe even a 5-2-1 record, something along those lines, to put yourself in a wonderful position? Because it really is kind of put up and shut up time. I think for this team, they put themselves in a decent spot, being 5 games over 500 around this time. But there is still work to do, as we all know, as there are teams that they are chasing, and they're on the outside wanting to be in right now.
Joe, good stuff. Have a great segment on the Bally Sports Midwest pregame show, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good, boys. You guys have a great week as well.
All right, thank you. This is Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. You can listen to the game on the Blues Radio Network, and, of course, the pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 6 o'clock. You'll hear Alex Ferrario, and I'm sure you'll hear from Chris Kerber. And, yeah, going to be interesting night in Winnipeg.
I'm excited to watch you on the Bally Sports pregame show.
Like I said,
down.
I think Joe wanted to get out of that segment.
I thought you were going to do it.
I think you should go down there. Do it.
Listen, I could drop some hockey knowledge on people, but most of it's going to basically be a promo for the Clear Camp. Wow.
I see what you did there.
It's not a bad idea, though.
It's actually not.
Because once Jordan Binnington makes the save, the initial save,
you got to clear it out.
You got to clear the puck.
Exactly. And Marsh, what do you often say on your Maryville broadcast?
I mean, clearing the puck is one of the most important things out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're welcome, hockey fans.
You got to do it.
You're welcome. Okay, we've got our Sports Six-Pack coming up.
Yeah, we do.
So text it 314-399-9646 if you have a question for Carey. Send it in. Sports Six-Pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalters, Andrew Marsh. Question 1, please.
Question number 1.
From the 314, would you guys take J.J. McCarthy in the first round of the NFL draft?
No. Question 2, please.
No, seriously, Carey, what are we missing?
I don't know.
Because I feel the same way.
I've been hearing his name come up in first-round conversations. I'm like,
only first round, top 10.
Did I miss something here?
Right.
Like, when did he become better, or even on the same level as a Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., Drake May, who may or may not, no pun intended, but may or may not be good. Caleb Williams. I don't know what the hell I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Like when I hear, the people on TV talk about, J.J. McCarthy is top 10 pick. I'm like, is there a different one? Is there a different JJ that didn't play for Michigan? It got to be a different quarterback.
Played for like L.A. Tech or something?
I'm missing
L.A. Tech.
It got to be another quarterback because the J.J. McCarthy that I saw at Michigan did a damn good job of handing the ball off to Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum.
Yeah.
Handing it off. and rolling out.
Yep.
Make sure you hold that defensive end. He booted out and was able to find the tight ends and running backs in the flat. I thought that was outstanding.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything that I would say, I want that guy to run my offense.
Carey, you feel the way I do. You nailed it.
I thought I was missing something.
He wasn't the focal point of Michigan's
They didn't
offense. You want to
care.
make a top 10 pick?
I don't know what the I don't know.
Am I crazy to think that Michael Penix Jr. is a legit NFL starter?
I want to see how many yards J.J. McCarthy passed for this year.
I understand that Penix has the injury history.
2,900. He was third in the Big Ten.
Okay. How many yards did Penix throw for?
4,900.
Is that all?
Yeah. Jaden Daniels threw for 3,800.
Plus all the rushing
threw for
yards.
36. He
wasn't
he didn't have his head coach for a couple games.
He wasn't asked to do anything in Michigan's offense.
I agree. How many touchdowns did he throw for? 23? No.
Jaden Daniels had what, 40? 45?
Daniels had 40 touchdowns passing.
And like 4 picks.
4 picks. Bo Nix threw for 45.
I forgot about him.
He's like a 12th year senior, though.
I don't get it.
I think I'm missing something. I would need to see what film they're watching.
I know that
because I watched it and I didn't see it.
No, I didn't either. I know that Michael Penix has the injury problems, and I know that he didn't look good against Michigan's defense. I get that. That kid can spin it. He's got everything else.
All right. Well, I don't like to disparage young men. Let's go down the numbers. East Carolina, 280. UNLV, 278. Bowling Green, 143. Rutgers.
Are these the teams that they played last year?
Oh, yeah.
What? These are his passing yards. These are, where is that? Rutgers, 214. Nebraska, 156. Minnesota, 219. Indiana, 222. Michigan State, 287. Purdue went crazy, 335. 60 yards versus Penn State.
60 yards passing?
7 for 8.
What? Did he get hurt?
No, I don't think so. I think he played the whole game. They won 24-15. That was when Sherrone Moore was crying after the game.
Wait, how did they get to go to the national championship when they play nobody good?
This is the Big Ten,
They got to Ohio State. They beat Ohio
Maryland, 141. Ohio State, 148. Iowa, 147.
If you throw for 147 against Iowa, it might as well be 300, though.
Okay. 221 versus Alabama.
Iowa had a great defense.
140 versus Washington. He had 2 games.
That's a top 10 pick. Why? Because he's got leadership skills.
The worst part about it is I keep seeing on Vikings Twitter that the Vikings might be interested.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I might not be a Vikings fan anymore. What? Not if they get that guy.
Come on with it. Hey, you could be Kirk Cousins' backup there for a second.
Yeah. Learn under.
Yeah.
I just got a new Kirk Cousins shirt, too, for Christmas.
Did you?
I did, and they're probably not going to re-sign him.
He'll
be there.
Yeah, maybe on the road.
You just have to believe. That's all it takes. All right? Just like Carey and I believe that J.J. McCarthy should probably go in the second or third round. Or fourth. I don't get it. I'm not trying to crush him. I'm literally as I watch these other QBs play, I don't see the same prospect there.
I agree.
This is also coming from the same guy that at one point liked Zach Wilson. So, take it with a grain of salt. All right. Yeah.
She left that part out.
Yeah. No, I want to be fair.
Hey, you know what? Maybe he'll have a bounce back career. He was with the Jets, for crying out loud. That organization sucks.
Yeah, they do, but I don't think so.
You never know.
I missed on the character.
You know what?
Marsh.
I've heard rumors that maybe he may go to the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, yeah?
Or Sean McVay, who has the best playbook, some would say. Maybe he revitalizes his career like he did to Baker Mayfield.
Interesting. I don't think so, but
all right.
Question 2, please.
Question number 2.
From the 636, is there a Marshawn Lynch in the NFL right now? Would he have been relevant if he was in his prime right now?
So he definitely would be relevant. There's no question about it, because just because he was, a great player, so he'd be relevant. But I think I understand the kind of the nature, the spirit of the question, because this goes back to the running backs conversation that we had earlier. I think to the nature of the question, it is, would somebody, if Marshawn was in his prime, pay him a truckload of money?
No.
And I don't think that the answer to me would be no, too.
They don't care. They don't care about it. I mean, no. But if you're thinking of a running back that I guess is embodies what Marshawn, Najee Harris?
No.
No?
No way.
Why not?
Did you just say that because he's a Steeler?
No, I said that because he's about the same size. He's a little bit taller. Najee is. Najee doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He's got 1,000 yards in his first 3 seasons of his career.
I wouldn't compare him to Marshawn Lynch, though.
No, each year.
Okay. Why do I think he's so much smaller than Marshawn Lynch?
No, he's bigger than Marshawn.
Those Alabama running backs, man, they're huge.
Plus, he's a March brother.
Who, Marshawn?
No, Najee Harris, March 9th.
He's okay.
We just love everybody that was born in March.
Yeah.
I think they're about the same size. He's taller.
He's 232?
Yes. He's huge. He's 6 feet. And Marshawn was probably 5'10", 5'11", 235.
I don't know why I think Najee Harris is not. I mean, obviously, I don't think he's small, but when I think of Marshawn Lynch, I just think of an absolute beast.
That would be the one that I think could be compared. There's another one that I just had. I don't know why I think, who was it?
I mean, Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's not in his prime anymore.
He's huge, though. He's much bigger.
Yeah, he's 247.
And he's like 6'4", 6'3".
I can't believe his legs are that small.
I agree.
And this is somebody that can squat like 800 pounds. I don't know who I don't know. That's a pretty good one with Najee Harris. I would have never thought that. I would have never said that. But
maybe
Carey brings up a good point.
Isaiah Pacheco, around the same size.
No, it's Marshawn Lynch.
Pacheco's he's way
Lynch was
skinnier.
I think when I think of Lynch was just an absolute truck up top.
5'11", 215, 5'10", 216. Listen, I literally can look at a person's body and tell you how big they are, and they're the same size.
Huh? No, I'm with you.
Pacheco?
Pacheco is 5'10", 216. Marshawn Lynch was 5'11", 215.
What?
Yeah.
Man. No. I was thinking more like Kenneth Walker.
The body. Kenneth Walker is
smaller.
6 feet.
I don't even think he's 6 foot, but
Kenneth Walker is 6 feet.
I feel like he's stockier.
It looks different because he's a little bit taller.
I think Walker is smaller in height.
Let's see.
This is blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, where is he at? Oh, man, I can't find him.
Who are you looking for?
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker is 5'9", 211.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I thought he was bigger than that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the uniform.
Tyler Algier. He has that
He's
same
fine.
kind of
Short,
build.
About
yeah, he's short and
5'10".
stocky. He's what, 5'10", 215?
He's 5'11", 220.
Okay. All right.
About Marshawn's size.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker
I
looks
know.
taller than 5'9". Kenneth Walker looks about 6 feet. I don't know why. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the number. I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe Marshawn just had bigger pads or something because he looked like he reminded me of like the same build as like Ricky Williams. Like just like bowling ball, dude.
Yeah.
Just
Nick
running
Chubb
through,
is
dude.
another
Nick Chubb,
one.
another
Nick
guy.
Chubb's a big running back, yeah. I don't know. All right. We only got through 2 questions and horsed around too much on that second one. So let's get more of your Sports Six-Pack questions next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All All right, time for the Sports Six back here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Question 3, please.
Question number 3.
All right, from the 314, who would be your next dream manager? Adam Wainwright, Yachty, Big Mac, Albert?
I'll say Albert.
I'll say Ali Marmol.
He said next manager.
He's going to sign the next contract.
Yeah,
Why
but
are we trying to
after.
fire? Well, okay. 5 years down the road?
Sure.
All right. Yachty or Molina?
I'll say Albert.
Isn't it weird, though? So people want Ollie fired.
Yeah.
That would mean that the Cardinals would have to suck, like that bad for him to be fired.
Pretty much.
Wouldn't you want the Cardinals to be good?
Nope.
Which in return would make you happy, which would mean that Ollie Marmol's doing a fine job.
Well, here's the thing, Marsh.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You make too much sense.
I'm not going to...
Sorry. Don't like it.
I'm not going to say that everybody's like this, but I think there are a handful of people that would rather be right than watch their team win.
It does feel good, though, when you are right.
Even though
I knew
you lost.
Yeah.
Let's be wrong.
I knew it.
They'll twist it and say, no, I want to be right about my team picking the right manager. But they said, I want to be right.
Sounds like a win-win situation for those type of people.
Certainly. And those type of people operate that way. And that just, no matter what, I'm going to win.
I don't know.
You don't have to take accountability. Don't have to look yourself in the mirror. Blame everybody else. It's a perfect dream, Carey.
Well, the text line's saying the Cardinals don't have to suck to fire the manager. We've seen it before, which is not. That's not
that
false.
worked out well.
Well,
you know, Ali did win 91 games.
Who won 90 games?
Ali
90 plus
Marmol.
games? No. The Cardinals
He's the
did.
manager.
Thanks to Albert and thanks to Paul
We've been through this
Goldschmidt.
We've been.
We have. And you still can't understand it.
I don't understand how you give him 91 losses but not 93 wins.
He was along for the ride 2 years ago. He was the main guy last year.
Doesn't feel right. doesn't feel. Like that makes sense.
I can explain it to you multiple times here, Carey.
Can't force me to understand it though.
The bottom line is that Ali was just a backseat passenger when Albert and Paul Goldschmidt drove the bus 2 years ago. Wow. When they made him the driver last year, you saw what happened.
I don't feel like
players got worse. Team got worse.
What do they drove off a cliff?
They certainly did.
Oh man.
Or at least they went down the hill and just
down the hill
all the way down.
The wheels on the bus go round and round.
No.
Not even fun. Not even fun on that bus.
Basically, they were hitting their heads on the top of the bus ceiling the entire way down. Exactly.
That's unfortunate.
It's like riding a roller coaster.
Right.
Need some shocks.
Man.
I'm glad we cleared that up there for you, Carey.
Yeah, I don't know that you did, but
Ali, not responsible 2 years ago. Absolutely responsible last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Who would they hire, though?
Who would they hire?
Who would they hire?
Yachty or Molina?
Daniel Descalso, probably.
Oh, my God.
You know, they're not going to go outside the org, will they?
No,
would they?
Of course not. No. They'd probably hire the pitching coach.
Dusty Blake?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you want Ali gone, just understand it could get much, much worse. That's all I'm going to say. Okay?
Oh, man.
Any other questions there? Hot shot?
Question number 4.
From the 618, aside from the Bears, which team do you believe is most likely to trade out of the first 10 of the NFL draft?
Ooh.
Let's see here. To trade out of the top 10.
Who
So
needs?
this said top 10?
Yes, the top 10.
Washington won't.
Nope. Washington is going to take Caleb Williams, number 1 overall.
They're going to trade with them?
Yep.
Maybe what about your Falcons?
Trade out?
Yeah.
I could see them do that, sure.
Or the Giants?
I could also see them trade up. How about the Arizona Cardinals? Or the Chargers? I'll say the Chargers.
You don't think the Chargers need?
Oh, they need a lot, but
They need a whole lot.
so they need a cornerback. They'll need running back help. They'll need probably defensive they'll need defensive linemen, tight ends. And they could take Brock Bowers at number 5, which is a lot of people mocking to them, but why not trade out? I'll say 5th. Because somebody's going to go up and get one of these quarterbacks. Whether that is Atlanta.
Arizona's probably a good place to trade back.
Or Minnesota.
They got their quarterback.
Yeah.
And
Ish.
A little bit, okay. Yeah.
They won't be drafting a quarterback.
No.
But Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to fall to one of those teams.
You might want to be there if you're Arizona. Unless somebody else snags them. I don't know why the Patriots would. They don't have a quarterback to throw them the ball.
No, the Patriots. I think it's going to be, no matter who picks, it's going to be quarterbacks first three
Really?
picks. Because you're going to get Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and probably Drake May.
And then J.J. McCarthy.
Well, he'll be there for Marsh at, what do you got, 11th?
Come on, man. Don't do that to me.
You got 11th.
My team's going to trade up and
Denver
get
Broncos.
Drake May.
I don't think so.
Denver
When you
Broncos.
can sit there and take J.J. Yeah, I can see the Broncos taking McCarthy.
They could, and then, unfortunately, I think I've seen rumors that Russell Wilson could
be what,
be
Minnesota
on his
Viking?
way to Minnesota.
You would take it.
So apparently Denver is receiving no calls about Russell
You
Wilson.
think. $39 million.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You think the Denver Broncos, why isn't anyone calling about it?
No, they know why.
Why aren't they? They haven't even reached out.
Yeah.
You know
There's
what,
39 million reasons why.
Yeah, they know why.
The way that they handled that Russell Wilson thing, I know we give Russell Wilson crap all the time because he's, a goofball, does high knees on an airplane, of all places. They screwed him over last year, and I hope
Did
they get. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I think so. I think they did too.
They did some illegal,
How much
shady
guaranteed
stuff.
money? How much guaranteed money is Russell Wilson going to get? He's stealing money.
Well,
He's got a ski mask
wouldn't
on.
be
That's not his
stealing.
Guess what? He's not skiing in Colorado.
He wouldn't be stealing
He's
if
got
they
the
let him
ski
play.
mask on, saying, "Put the money in the bag, Denver."
Put the money in the bag.
That's what he's doing. I don't
Anthony,
feel
his
bad
team
for him.
last year was terrible.
He was kind of terrible too, Mark.
He was,
Two
but
years
he also was pretty decent.
That defense was really good, and he kept throwing games.
His head coach was an idiot.
Yeah, he was. And this one didn't fit.
And now
much.
his new head coach has the biggest ego I've ever
Doesn't
seen
really
in my
like him.
life.
Hey, he's got a movie.
He does have a movie.
I don't think that.
With Paul
matters.
Blart.
They got a movie. They got a movie about
Mall
Russell.
cop.
They got a movie about Russell Wilson.
No,
Huh?
not yet.
Is the King of Queens playing him? I don't think so.
Not yet. In due time.
Who'd you rather pay, Sean Payton or Russell Wilson at this point? I rest my case.
Sean Payton is going to be cheaper.
And more effective.
Probably.
Here we got another
You're
question.
paying both, though, just so we're clear.
What are we on, 5?
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. Question 5.
Question number 5.
From the 636, can we get some baseball talk or hockey talk?
Yes. First 3 hours. First 3 hours of the show. First 3 hours of the show. Outside of one segment, maybe 2 segments were dedicated to hockey and baseball.
Podcast.
So yes.
It's there.
Yeah. Yes. Can you get hockey and baseball talk? Absolutely. At 2 o'clock, 2:15, 2:30, 2:45, 3 o'clock, 3:15. We did take a short reprieve at 3:30, 3:45. 4 o'clock was the Gauntlet, which was hockey. 4:15 was Cardinals. Joe Vitale at 4:30. Six-pack has been, yes, mostly football. We apologize.
Well, here's a baseball question from the 314. Anthony, please name the last pitching coach that was hired as a manager. I'll wait because you can't. It's beyond rare.
Okay, my point was just that they're gonna hire somebody you don't want.
Get it together, Anthony. Please.
That was my point.
Get it together.
You want to fire Ollie? Who they're going to hire? It ain't going to be somebody you want. It's going to be somebody like Dusty Blake.
And then
But
they're going to be mad
to your
again.
point, yes, no, you're right. Their pitching coaches are typically not hired. What do you got?
Nothing.
Can't do it? Can't read it?
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, man.
All right, we got
Are we
one
good?
more question.
Question
Better be
number
about
6.
hockey or baseball, you son of a...
No, it's not. It's actually about food.
Oh, no.
The Snake Pit is talking about what food they are eating tonight for dinner. So I wanted to ask you guys, what is on the menu tonight at the Stalter household, at the Davis household. And let's open that up to St. Louis. What are you guys eating tonight on this Tuesday night? Is it Taco Tuesday?
I don't typically know until I walk in the door at 6:30 what I'm going to be making.
Oh.
So, I don't know. I don't plan it.
I've been on a diet, so my meals are essentially the same every day. Ground turkey, green beans, and either a sweet potato or some rice, quinoa, something like that.
Now I know you're sick, but you sound real excited about that.
Do
you have that for every meal?
Every day.
Every meal you have that?
You
don't switch it up with like chicken?
Well, on the weekends, I'm tired of chicken. Like, I got tired of chicken. I'll eat some fish every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But on the weekends, I may go to Five Guys and indulge.
Nice.
Get
okay.
burger and some fries.
There you go.
It just, you make it to Saturday, you kind of get depressed.
All right.
Feel better.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't know yet?
It's nice enough to grill, but I haven't checked the tank. So. And
Well,
I don't think, honestly, I don't think I have anything to grill.
Because it's going to be like 30 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't like
this
that.
Weather is, that's why I'm sick, I think.
Because of the weather?
Yeah, it's allergies, weather.
I think a virus infected you.
It's possible.
I think a virus went in your face.
It probably did. And
got into your system.
Little Osmosis Jones.
Yeah. Little Osmosis Jones for you.
Trying to work his way and help Carey fight off all the gunk.
Certainly. Yeah.
It's a great film.
It is.
All right. So, is that the one with...
It's Chris Rock, isn't it? Is that Chris Rock?
I think so. It's either...
Isn't it...
yeah, it is Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Is it Bill Murray in there, too?
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray is the...
He's the guy that gets sick.
There you go. Just like Carey.
Yeah.
Except for I don't think Carey was as gross as Bill Murray.
No, I don't think so either.
Sickly.
Yeah.
Sickly.
All right.
He ate an egg that a monkey put in his mouth at the zoo.
It's not good.
And then he blew on it and then ate it. And then was wondering why he was so sick. And that's when Osmosis Jones had to come in and save the day.
Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right. It's Fastline on 101 ESPN. We're supposed to be joined by Jamie Rivers live from Winnipeg, but he'll probably avoid us. So let's dealer's choice, guys. Hockey or baseball?
Clearly, we got to do one or the other.
We should come up with our own keys to victory.
Blues keys to victory tonight?
Yeah, all of us. We'll each come up with one.
Okay, that's next on 101 ESPN. Hey, when it comes to finding your next new ride, go see my guys at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. In fact, you can start off at AutoCentersNissan.com. You can check out the wide selection of vehicles. And when I say wide selection, I mean they have over 700 vehicles on their lot, one location. That's right. Different makes and models when it comes to their pre-owned vehicles. And, of course, they have brand new Nissan. So if you're looking at a Nissan Pathfinder, which is what we drive in the Stalter household, man, we love the Nissan Pathfinder. Smooth ride, plenty of room with the 3 kids. We got sports activities and sports equipment that still fits perfectly. If we go to, take a long drive, Nissan Pathfinder, plenty of room for us, but maybe you're looking for something a little smaller. They got a ton of Nissan Rogues. They've got Nissan Altimas. I think you could still find some Nissan Titans as a sharp-looking pickup truck. If you're not in the market for new Nissans, again, they got different makes and models when it comes to their pre-owned vehicles. But when it comes to Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, one location out in Herculaneum. They've got a 30-day return promise. Within 30 days, if you bring the vehicle back for any reason that you need to, they're going to give you a full refund because they want to make sure that you're great with the car and you feel great driving off the lot. And they also give you the free complimentary lifetime warranty on all new Nissans. Financing options, by the way, for everyone. Good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter. They'll finance the vehicle for you. Head out to Herculaneum or visit them online at AutoCentersNissan.com. Jamie Rivers avoiding us like the plague as he works out in Winnipeg. Yeah. Yeah, he joined us for the first two segments, the 2:15 and 2:30 segment today. So if you missed that, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. So we talked a little hockey with him, but he said, yeah, I'll come back on when I get down to the rink, and that was the last time we heard from Jamie. So screw him. Let's do some keys to victory tonight for the Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. Carey, what's your key to victory, or do you want Marsh to start off?
I mean, it's simple for me. You know, this game is not a tough game, fellas. It's really simple. Score more than the opponent. It's my key for the night.
Carey.
That's it. There's a crazy
key for any game.
Which makes it all the more important, right? It's the simplest thing you do. You score more than them. And what do you get at the end of that, Anthony?
A win?
2 points. So it's the goal.
You do it in regulation.
You should, preferably. Don't get down 4 in the first period. Try that.
Well, I get you at 2 points anyways, but
yeah, but don't do that.
Don't do what you did in Detroit.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Can I give another one?
I would like you to give another
front
one.
Presence is another option that I need to see. I need to see these guys in front of the net, not being bullied, moved out of the way. A lot more time in the O zone, I prefer, not in the D zone. You give up too much time in the D zone, you have more shots on goal, and then you end up giving up that goal. We've seen Jordan Binnington play his butt off, but it's hard to play your butt off when you're facing so many shots. So O zone, net front presence, and score more goals than the opponent. Let's try that out for once.
Okay.
I have a question, and I was having this conversation with one of my buddies either yesterday or the day before. I don't know. I have that sick brain. I can't think of anything right now, except for this one thought. Maybe it's an ignorant thought. Is it that hard to go to the front of the net? Because I see a lot of other teams do it against the Blues. They make it seem easy.
Well, Marsh, I think it's a want-to thing. You want to go to the front of the net. And I don't think the Blues always want to go to the front of the net.
So another key, want it more.
There you go.
Want it more. That's
want
another
it more,
key.
yeah.
Want it more. You have to want it more than the opposing team.
Carey, you are a constant overachiever. We asked for one key. You gave us 3.
I'm giving you as many as I can.
Want to.
The want factor.
The want to has to exceed the do factor.
Is that the same thing as the have to? Because I've heard of the have to.
Yeah, it's much different. It's a different category.
Yeah, that's from Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Which one is more important?
Rookie of the Year is a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Anthony, I have a key to the game.
All right.
Let's limit the neutral zone turnovers. I feel like that's important.
Okay.
Establish a forecheck.
What about a back check?
You got to have that, too. Let's try and cut that down, though. That means the other team's going the other way.
That's true.
And then my final but most important one is move the puck quickly on the power play. It seems like every time I watch the team on the power play, they like to hold on to the puck and not move it quickly. We watched Detroit. It looked like they were a pinball machine going boing, 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 boing in the back of your net.
Even the Islanders looked pretty fast.
That's
on
how
the power
every
play.
team, for the most part, moves the puck on the power play. It's quick, one-touch passes.
Yeah.
Everyone touches the puck.
Yep.
They don't just sit around, I think there's nothing here. I'm going to throw it around the boards to the other side. Oh, no, it jumped over the stick of the defenseman. Puck's out of the zone.
Other teams look like the Spurs back in the day with Duncan. Remember, it was Spurs like Parker to Duncan, Duncan to Ginobili, Ginobili to Parker, Parker down to Duncan. 2 points. Like, just move the ball until you get an opportunity to shoot. Yep.
The Blues don't.
Not the Blues. No, let's rim this one around here. See what we got on the other side.
You know you got more guys than them at that time on the ice.
Somebody should tell them that.
I don't know if they know that.
All right, guys,
let's try and feed this pass across with 3 sticks in the lane.
Yeah.
If it works, then we might score.
Typically it won't.
Or we'll hit the post.
Okay, here we go. Here's my keys to victory tonight. Now, you guys talked a lot about, Carey, get in front of the net. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Neutral zone play. Marsh, you kind of touched upon that. But, guys, if you don't clear that damn puck out of the defensive zone, you're going to have all kinds of issues tonight, okay? The other thing is Joel Hofer has to set the tone. Why? Because you're overly reliant on your goaltender right now. I've been making this point for 2 straight days, okay? If your goaltender isn't disgusting in the first period, you're going to lose. So Joel Hofer's got to play out of his mind tonight. He's got to be the second coming of Thor and Iron Man and Captain Marvel, all in one.
You've been watching the movies.
I've been watching the movies.
Which one are you on right now?
Iron Man 3.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you made it past the first Avengers then.
I did. Yeah,
What did you
solid.
think?
I liked it a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you watching this by yourself, or are you?
My wife is not watching these movies. No, she's not watching these movies. I asked her. I said, "Hey, why don't you?" Yeah, I've never seen these Marvel movies. I've seen some of them. Like I saw the first two Iron Mans, and
I
that was
want
it.
to watch them in order like that.
I'm watching them literally in order the way they're supposed to. Like they make
not the
sense.
release date.
No, they
The
make sense in terms of the story.
Yeah.
Like they're almost picking up from the last movie.
I didn't see that.
It was a brilliant idea I had. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, so you got to clear that damn puck tonight consistently. And if Joel Holfer steals you the game, you win. If he doesn't, you're going to lose 6-2.
I don't know.
Anything else?
Those are some.
One thing before we get to our first goal of the game. The Blues, when they score first, man, I mean, they are literally, I think, the best team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And when they score last,
literally
the worst team in the NHL. So I think it really comes down to if they can score first, I think they might win.
Okay. I'm with you on that.
I'm just going to take a wild, crazy guess.
Yeah.
That they'll score first tonight.
Okay.
And then they'll win.
Well, who's going to score that first goal of the game?
Great question.
Let's go, boys.
We need you to score more goals.
Get those loose pucks.
Thomas to Kyrou. Score! Goal!
No big deal. Game winner.
All right, Carey, go ahead.
You know, we've been talking about this young man pretty much all day. People want him traded. People want him out of here. They don't like his effort, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to score the first goal tonight. It's Jordan Kyrou. Telling you. Something about him, when people pick on him and talk about him, it's almost like, I can do this when I want to. Let me show you. Let me remind you who I am and why I'm getting paid the money I'm getting paid.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
Marsh?
I'm going to go off the wall again.
Yeah, you are. Well, that's what the Blues do.
Yeah, they do.
When it comes to
somebody like
the power play.
Like Alexei Torpchenko or something like that.
I went with him not too long ago. He's
it's going to be
scored some first goals.
Maybe he'll be a defenseman. What about Justin Falk? Oh, what about him? No, I'm going to go with Jake Neighbors.
Okay.
I'm going to go Jake Neighbors. Net front presence, baby.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to go with somebody off the wall. I'm going to go with somebody that I don't expect to score the first goal of the game. I'm going to reverse psychology this thing. I'm going to go with Kevin Hayes.
Whoa.
I don't think Kevin Hayes is going to score the first goal tonight. I don't think he's going to come anywhere close.
Yeah, you might be right.
So give me Kevin Hayes. Yeah, think outside the box. I learned something yesterday in Bet the Board that I'm going to start applying.
You should. Okay. All right.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down,
Here,
Anthony.
you got an issue?
Not at
You know
all.
what I'm saying here?
I wish you the
There's
best.
no way in hell Kevin Hayes is going to score the first goal
You, sir,
tonight.
are probably right.
So I'm going to go with Kevin Hayes.
And he's definitely not going to score against his former team in the Winnipeg Jets.
Exactly.
There's no chance.
No.
Good luck with that, sir.
I actually didn't know he played for the Jets. I only thought he played for the Flyers. So,
I mean, he's played for multiple teams.
He's a real Sonny Gray.
He really is.
Yeah. So he's our ace tonight.
He's yours, at least.
Yeah, darn right he is. All right, we got the biggest question of the day coming up next on 101 ESPN. No one should have to spend their entire tax return on tires. But look, if you need new tires and you don't want to spend the entirety of your tax return, or you don't want to invest money that you don't have because the savings are dwindling, maybe you're paycheck to paycheck like most Americans, call R&R Tire Express. Because at tax time, it's deal time. And the R&R Tire Express team is matching payments all month long. And not just through February, actually through March. That means when you pay 1 week, R&R Tire Express will pay 1 week. All new tire and wheel installs now through the end of March. When you pay 2 weeks, R&R Tire Express, they'll pay 2 weeks. You get the idea. R&R Tire Express offers flexible payment options, plus peace of mind coverage that includes free tire install, free rotations, free flat repair, and more. So it's not like they'll just send you the new tires and say, yep, you're good. Here you go. No, installs, flat repair, they got you covered. Everyone's approved, no credit needed. If you want new wheels, but you need new tires, who says you have to choose? Get your name in their books now by calling 1-833-ROLL-NOW, 1-833-ROLL-NOW, or visit rnrtires.com. You can request a quick quote while they're still matching payments now through the end of the month of March on all in-stock tires and wheels at R&R Tire Express.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked earlier today with Jamie and Joe Vitale. If you missed any of those interviews, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. Check out the free 101 mobile app. Go to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Also tonight, St. Louis Louis City SC is taking on the Houston Dynamo. It is leg 2 of 2 of the first round of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. So make sure you tune into that as well, as City SC is early on in their 2024 campaign. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, you're the big voice there. Biggest question of the day. Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter. What do you got, Marsh?
All right, before we get to our biggest question of the day, we had a mic drop come in from John Foe Zaylock. We haven't heard from Foe in quite some time, obviously making moves left and right here in the offseason. Let's see what Foe had to say before we get into our biggest question of the day.
So, as I stated earlier about the signing with Brandon Crawford, I would like to expound on a few more details that, I left out to the media. And, I think we had some trepidation of, if Mason Wynn were to get hurt. But, I think furthermore, what we like to do is give Gershie one signing per off season, and he hasn't done that yet. I know some of you may look at some of the signings we've done and would be surprised to hear that, but that's just my brilliance so far. And so, Gersh right now, we had to take away the PlayStation 5 and actually 4 because he was playing too much of it. And, we did find out that Gersh has a PS3 back at his house and has been playing a lot of MLB The Show 2016. And, Brandon Crawford is just a dog on that game. And, I think, why Gersh pushed so hard for that is because he's seeing Brandon Crawford wreck his current franchise and season in that game. So, it is what it is. He hit 194 last year, but, Gersh thinks that, he can turn it around.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does, especially if, that was Gersh's one signing, and Gersh had been playing the 2016 version of MLB The Show. Yeah, that would be confusing.
You shouldn't be playing that and thinking that you're
Gershie does his thing, though.
All right.
Well, this has been established in this this universe. We'll call it that. This Foe Zaylock universe.
Sure.
Gersh is a MLB The Show player.
He is.
Question, though. Obviously, the Cardinals have been bringing in a lot of older veterans and whatnot, but is it not as crazy as we think to bring these guys in? Like, the younger players, it's not like they're like 3, 4, 5 years into the league. They're like 1, 2, maybe 3 years, like the big time guys. Like, these veterans are important.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not going to be starters, what does it really matter? Like Matt Carpenter, Brandon Crawford. Now, of course.
This is where you're missing the point, because they will be starters.
No,
they will be.
No, don't.
Brandon Crawford will start.
Don't say that.
Matt Carpenter will start.
Do not say that.
They will have opportunities. Lance Lynn going to play the whole season.
Well, I didn't bring up the rotation for a reason.
We got guys.
There is something that, like, Carey, you're doing right now because you're sick and you're trying to.
You listen.
Like,
I don't know
what you're saying, it's actually hit me.
They're going to
differently.
Play. They're going to play. Okay?
Yeah, but they're not going to
No, they
start.
are. Significant games.
No.
That's why they're here.
No.
You think they're here?
Carey, people don't realize you're being sarcastic right now. Please mix in a laugh or something.
I'm serious.
You're not serious.
They're going to play.
All right, I'm going to do...
You think they brought Matt Carpenter just to sit on the bench and cheer people on?
Yeah.
And bring salsa into the dugout? Do you think
I thought that was the only reason.
No, it's not. Shame on you for thinking that. Okay?
It's the second shame on me that you threw out there.
Because I don't understand why you don't understand.
Okay.
They signed these players to have a significant role on this team. You want to win 90 games? You said they had veteran leadership. It wasn't Ollie 2 years ago. It's not going to be him this year. It's going to be Brandon Crawford.
Carey,
Matt Carpenter.
We've established that was the Ollie hate machine that I fired up.
Yeah, well, fired back up. Because Brandon Crawford and Matt Carpenter will lead this team to the promised land.
Carey's been sick. He's been under the weather. He's not feeling great. I don't want people to take him seriously.
I don't know why.
Can I say something real quick? And I hope this does not happen, because that would mean Mason Wynn either got injured or is playing bad. But if Brendan Donovan and Brandon Crawford were your middle infield, I mean,
that's a duo there.
Championship.
I mean, they look exactly the same. They got the hair, the
You can't tell them
bandana.
apart.
That's like the Bash Brothers. They are the Bash Brothers.
And now you see where I'm going.
You basically
Matt Carpenter at third base.
Oh boy.
No.
Did you trade half the team?
No.
They got hurt.
No. These guys are going to play. They're here.
How do we go from like Victor Scott in center, Mason Wynn at short, Tommy Edman when healthy, Gold Glover second baseman,
I don't make
to the
rules.
crap you're throwing out right now?
I don't make the rules, right? If you're asking me, Carey Davis, Victor Scott, Tommy Edman second base, Mason Wynn third base, Goldie Arenado. Simple. Bing bang. We're done.
Yeah.
But I didn't. These guys were signed, Anthony.
They were signed for depth. Veteran leadership.
You say depth?
Salsa.
I
flow.
say to start.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Brandon Crawford has some great Major League Baseball swag.
He does.
I love that.
He's got the long pants.
You don't want to see that guy out there on the field every day?
Every day taking ground balls before the game?
No.
Absolutely. You got to stay
In-game.
fresh.
When they do their defensive switch.
I kind of want to see him play at least a few times. He's going to look good in a Cardinal hat. He's a solid player.
They're going to do some defensive switching late in the game. Bing, bang, boom.
For who?
Right there.
Mason Wynn?
Just telling you. They're here for a reason.
No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll start the game and Mason Wynn will come in.
What the hell?
We got to play the matchups,
You got to
Anthony.
play the matchups.
Got to play the matchups.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
You just go with your best players.
Anthony, they brought the
That's
San
too
Francisco
simple.
Giant over because they're bringing in the San Francisco Giant philosophy.
There you go.
Where they need.
The Giants didn't want him. And he'd been there the entire time.
That was a mistake on their end.
And look at them. They're going to be bad this year.
There you go.
And
They're going to win their division.
They're going to be bad. They were going to be bad
You think
regardless.
they're going to win their division?
No.
The Dodgers are in that division.
You know who is going to?
It's a legit division.
St. Louis Cardinals.
This team's going to win.
Okay. Enough of this. Enough of this shenanigans. All right.
Well, Carey and I will shenanigan. I promise you that.
Okay.
Like it.
All right. We got to get to bet the board. Anybody win last night? Marsh did. Marsh and Jamie did. Two guys that weren't here that we picked for them. They won.
God. We got to do better at picking. Well, I don't know. You have to do better at picking for Jamie.
Oh, I see. It's my fault.
Well, Bradford actually.
Well, you've
picked
been
for
around
Marsh.
Jamie just a little bit and you figured it out, huh? It's Anthony's fault.
Did he send in his pick today?
Yes, he did.
Did he? I got it. If he didn't.
Yeah. No. Oh, maybe he sent it to you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did.
All right.
All right.
It's next on 101 ESPN. Got a great roof company as spring arrived. It's Happy Roof Company. Spring is just a few weeks away, and that means rain is on the way. And if you pushed off getting a new roof for a while now, well, you know, it could leak Roof could leak, old roof, damaged roof, ugly roof. Got to give my friends at Happy Roof Company a call. The Happy Roof Company should be your first call, in fact. And if you call today, they're going to have someone out to look at your issue within 24 hours. So maybe you just need a repair. No problem. Happy Roof Company, they're there for you. But if you do need a full roof replacement, great news for you. They got financing options. They've got the detailed inspection reports for real estate transactions, too. So if you're somebody that's selling the house and you need to make sure that, hey, I could prove that my roof was installed, X amount of years ago, the Happy Roof Company, they got you covered. Expert field supervisors, residential and commercial roofing that they do. Superior high-end products, 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs. So a great warranty that comes with it. Cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs. Free estimates with competitive pricing as well. That's all thanks to the Happy Roof Company. So stop waiting. Give them a call right now. 314-665-3001. Again, 314-665-3001. Or visit them at the happyroof.com. Anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com, your 101 ESPN mobile app, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Talked a lot of Blues and Cardinals throughout the course of the day. We talked a little football as well. Carey, you made it, man.
Yeah, I'm here.
Carey
Still
was
standing.
He played hurt today. Yeah. He grinded it out. Marsh, I know you weren't feeling great either, so nice job, guys.
Yeah, it's been a tough day. I feel like someone punched me in the face. I feel a lot better now. I still feel like someone punched me in the face, but I feel emotionally better.
Carey actually did punch you in the face. You just forgot.
No. I wouldn't do that.
You remember you told me? You're like, Marsh, he didn't remember this, but I punched him right in the mouth.
I did. You weren't supposed to say that.
Oh, my bad. All right, time for Bet the Board here in the fast lane. Carey, what is your Bet the Board play?
Well, I've been going pretty strong with the Golden State Warriors. They are minus 10.5 against the woeful Washington Wizards. I'm going to take them. I'm going to go Golden State. They win by 11, hopefully, preferably.
All right. And Jamie sent in his pick to you, correct?
Yeah, it was a shocker. We were, thrown by it because Nashville was playing so well. But he wanted to go the Ottawa Senators money line.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he nailed the Islanders last night. They were an underdog last night. He knows his stuff, man.
Yes.
All right, when I look at these games, I don't understand why the Dallas Stars
don't do it then.
Are only plus 116.
Can I? Anytime you start with that, it doesn't. Like, that's the third time.
I should be 1-1 in this scenario. No, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. I don't think there's any way the Dallas Stars go into Colorado after losing last night to the Islanders in Dallas. I don't think there's any way they go into Colorado and beat them. So give me the Dallas Stars.
You're taking the Dallas Stars on the money line?
On the money line. Plus 116.
All right. You should probably gave that to Jamie.
I gave him the Islanders last night. They won. So I'm putting this into practice, Carey.
Right.
Go ahead, Marsh.
I'm going to go.
Why can't you support me?
I do support you. That's me supporting you because every time you say, I don't understand why, then you realize why.
I went against that theory, and Wake won and stormed the court.
But you said, I don't understand why this point spread is here.
I went to Duke. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Give me Duke.
Okay.
I should be 1-1 under this theory.
You should be, but you are 0-2. So
whatever,
see how
man.
It goes.
Go Dallas.
I'm going to go with Joel Hofer over 29.5 saves.
Okay.
And the Blues win.
Joel Hofer over 29.
Did you hear Carey?
Saves.
Nobody responded to that.
This is not a parlay, gentlemen.
Yeah, but did you hear Carey and what he said?
Didn't hear what he said.
Okay.
Hey, look, my left ear fell off.
No. I said in the Blues win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that
in
your
a
pick?
Blues win.
Is that your pick?
No. You already established his pick. He was just adding on to yours.
Joel Hofer over 29.5 saves.
All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
All right, from the 636, another great show. Cannot wait until tomorrow. You keep me laughing out loud for real. Love you guys. That's from Rick K.
Thanks, Rick.
Skull Marsh.
Oh, a little skull action for Marsh. Yeah, thank you for the compliment. That was very nice of you.
From the 217, Anthony said Jamie was avoiding you guys like the plague. Carey is sick. With Jamie being in Winnipeg makes me wonder if he knows how viruses work.
Maybe.
I mean, you can get it through the airwaves, right?
Nope.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah,
You cannot.
He's probably got a better chance of getting sick there because of the temperature. It's hard to
I don't know.
stay healthy.
We're supposed to get Winnipeg weather tonight, right?
I'm so sick of it.
Man.
I had my heat off for the last 2 days. It's supposed to be cold today.
Yeah. Did you hear Brad earlier?
No.
He said, hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be 30 tomorrow.
I thought he was kidding.
No, he was serious.
He's serious.
It's been 80 degrees and tomorrow it'll be 30.
I don't like it.
Come on.
I don't like it one bit.
From the 417, I don't know what happened today, but Stalter is a hot little potato right now.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I got fired up.
A hot little potato?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the question. Was it me or Ranthony? Because I don't think I had a Ranthony moment today.
No.
I think it was just me.
I don't know what a hot little potato means.
Well.
I'm not sure I want to know.
Who doesn't like potatoes?
But the
Got
hot
sweet
potato,
potatoes.
Past the hot potato.
Well, yeah, because it's hot.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
This
314
one is
618
this
or 636.
One of them.
One of them. This one's from Gator in the Snake Pit. Not a criticism of any of us, a criticism of a certain player that a lot of people don't like. So when Jordan Kyrou scores tonight first for Carey, he said, yep, Kyrou, instead of saying hold my beer, he'll say hold my baby bottle.
Oh, wow.
That's tough.
That is the ultimate open-faced crap sandwich that he just fed to Jordan Kyrou.
But he did score.
That's what I'm saying. But then he talked about the baby bottle. It's an open-faced crap sandwich. It's a sandwich. It's on bread, but it's crap. It's a crap sandwich.
You still eat it?
No, of course you don't eat it.
All right.
You're like, oh, this is I like this initially, and now I don't because now I see there's crap that's involved in it. So no.
You guys ever have a baby bottle pop, that candy?
No.
No. I don't know what that is.
I don't.
Baby bottle pop.
Never heard of a baby bottle pop?
No.
Look it up. It's candy.
Still.
Unbelievable. You guys are too old for me.
The video games, Marshall. You think he had no clue?
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day.
I didn't have any clue. Hey, you're buying stuff on a video game? Let's just play the game.
No, I've never had. No, I've never.
Our 3rd star of the day goes to microtransactions.
Speaking of which.
Well done.
We got a text today from the 636. Did we just hear Anthony learn that microtransactions exist?
Yes. I didn't know that. I thought you just played the video game. I didn't realize you could buy
you can just
levels
get
or
past
whatever.
all of it.
That's stupid. Why even buy the game?
Because it's easier.
Oh, wait.
Ask the Dodgers.
Don't you want to be challenged?
Well, some people don't want to.
Ask the Dodgers. They just want to buy it all and win it easily.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to Gershie, MLB 16 player. The show.
Yep.
Making moves.
That's how you got Brandon Crawford, according to our guy, John Foselar.
And our 1st star of the day goes to Puff Daddy, Come With Me.
Yes.
The Godzilla soundtrack.
There it is.
I've never heard it.
I did listen to it.
You did hear it.
I've heard the song.
Of course
it's
you've
a
heard
good
it.
song.
All right, I have to listen to it.
It's the Led Zeppelin song, and then it's Puff Diddy there. Puff Daddy, Puff Diddy. P Puffy.
P Puffy.
P Puffy Diddy.
With that guy.
Yeah. All right, we got Blues hockey coming up. Blues Jets pregame right now. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.